Halo guys, aduh masih hitam layar. Lupa. Halo guys, welcome back again. Kita live lagi guys, kita restream lagi. Restream VCT. Belum sisiran gua anjir. Kita nonton VCT Master Madrid dulu ya guys ya. Langsung aja lah. Load versus cache. FPX deng. Gue sambil ambil makan ya guys ya.
Which means their defense needs to be perfect. They cannot be leaving these holes. If so, they will get infiltrated by FPX. But, I mean, honestly, Mitch, just a wild comp head-to-head that we're getting Phoenix versus Phoenix in 2024.
Yeah, even though you see it say that FPX hasn't played the comp before, that is what they've been running regionally. They've looked okay there, but this is a whole different challenge.
All right, folks, well, this is it. The first match of the day, our first elimination match of the day is going to get started. Who better to send some people home than Hypoc, am I right, guys?
You're not wrong, GB. Absolutely hate everyone. You're on the money.
Can't wait to see someone lose, apparently.
Love an upset, love people upset.
Ntar gue nyisir dulu guys.
And we are here. However, there is a real factor to this that we do need to address. One of these two teams will be going home. Now, Loud had a pretty tough game up against Gen G. 2-1 in the end. Now, bigger picture, we don't know how that looks here. We need to see how this competes because Carmine Core swept FPX. We're right in.
So life, taking a little stab there. They would have TP out, but contact found early on. QCK and 2Es. Having to post up here. 3 members allowed, actually.
They're doubling down on this.
Yeah, they're pushing through.
Oh,
I saw, didn't see it.
Loud are so close to this. This could be devastating. Timing's everything, right? Like, can they keep control of what's going on elsewhere? Deciding to go all the way around T-spawn, not kind of slicing through tiles, which is where the vast majority of FPX currently resides. So Les needs to be really careful here. He does have Quarantine by his side, and that's exceptional work from Loud. Clear cut and concise. Lysor has no idea what the hell just happened, but that was just a sweep.
Now, half a second either way, Lysor maybe spots this out, finds the opening kill, and shuts down what looks like a very, very well-planned pistol round here from Loud. Get a consolation here, potentially no. QCK
Clean.
Quick to it. Loud will start the map here with a flawless. Gonna send a message here to FBX. No strangers to elimination games on either side here. Beautiful setup here. Yeah, I mean the fault line.
Stunning.
More than a cosmetic stun.
No,
You get worried on a pistol round.
You do, you do. There is always that slight question mark, but no, that was very clean work from Loud. And I think it'll be interesting to see how Loud look in this series, bigger picture.
Well, yeah, because I think Gen G's performance afterwards kind of
changed my perspective.
You almost feel a little better about Loud losing, right?
Yes,
if that's
absolutely
a way to look at it. Let's open up here. Life power player for FBX down. Autumn tagged up as well. Obviously the ability to heal, but no follow through from FBX just yet.
No, let's see if they can achieve anything with this one. Tricky, obviously with Classics, this map not particularly comfortable. Lysor did get a little bit of space, so that could be relayed into those later rounds. If maybe that's something they could explore, but for now you can see them taking the tour. And so probably playing, if anyone. That's going to be QCK over there. Yeah, so let's see how much he gets. He's heard something, enough to turn his attention back. Maybe just the time, no one seeing anything. That's not pretty enough. He does get at least 2 of them.
30 HP.
Yeah, tough. But another individual fight could open up the potential of a plant. Let's see if he can maybe get the drop, but Quarantine, yeah, the timing. Nicely done by Quarantine. Press the corner, finds him,
I think off the back of that, actually QCK does get his ultimate, so
Oh, really?
yeah,
Yes, he does.
tools to bring in here. Obviously loses out on the rifle, but we'll try and spread the funds accordingly. Want to put him in a position if they do want to cook something up around the ultimate for this round. We'll pass across, get him a bulldog at least. Expected, obviously with this composition, I mean, I agree with Mimi, this is almost the better showing of this composition. The ability to be very proactive, set QCK in motion. So that Kawanzine hasn't got an assist yet. Doesn't really matter, even after the pistol
he
round there.
did well enough for
Yeah.
himself. It could have supported the player beside him, but I mean, if you're there, you're there. Now the bonus does have a great deal of bite to it here for Loud, but Life's position a little further ahead than less expected. So going to get the drop on him and open up a big avenue of chance. Now does this spur on QCK potentially? Already set into place somewhat by that out drone through middle. He is waiting very much on the jump off point. Bit of stall, and actually, this is quite audacious from Kawanzine. Does
So, yeah, it was
recover the bulldog there.
Toying with the idea of dipping a little deeper in the smoke, but things come through from FPX. I think noting or potentially noting somebody towards market, don't like what they saw. Do have themselves a very favourable fight towards A. Two, he's not committed.
No, sitting quite deep. They still have the paranoia. Still have near on full kit, barring the owl drone for Sadak. Kawanzine pretty well situated, and so is QCK. So they could run a pretty good retake if they get there, but again, keep your eyes towards QCK. He should have been able to clear B by this point, so they could alleviate all the pressure. Now seeing this utility towards A, this should be a comfortable rotate, and you've got to look for that backstab. How much value does QCK find? Little bit of stall on the one way.
He's trying to go over the top.
There it is.
Yeah, he spotted them.
Oh, chip damage, not going to convert to a kill, but that's the site found, and the flank is on the way. Eyes towards QCK here, potential victim. Does he find it? No, dealt with. QCK, that's going to lose a lot of the punch from this round. Loud now looking very vulnerable. He's in Kawanzine. Lovely work to bring it back to a 2v2. How dare I doubt them?
Great for them.
Oh, Lysor loses the fight, and this is ridiculous. Autumn, come on. No flashes to play through on that smoke, and doesn't get too invested on the tap on the spike, but now he has to go. He's got to take this challenge. Halfway, not achieved. Autumn plays it well. FPX get across the line, but that's a dicey full buy up against a bonus.
A little sketchy, but a round win nonetheless. Loud making things very difficult for FPX there. Even when QCK falls there, it removes a big tool in terms of the retake. Yeah, a number of kills coming through.
One enemy remaining.
From both 2Es and Kawanzine. Kawanzine a little bit of hesitation here, obviously, to come off. He was just ahead of the half defuse. 2Es in a good position to hold the cross there as well, so definitely an opportunity for Loud to pull that off. But Red Bull clutch nonetheless for Autumn. Just have his run it back now available also.
A little bit of an adjustment over towards A though. Two players willing to hold towards A main. Main and Sadak. Life knows they're there.
He's in a really weird spot.
It's adjusted well enough though. Loud gonna get the first blood and fall away. No trade available. We see Berlin back towards the T side of the map. They are congregating this side. I'm waiting to see if the third player does start shifting away towards maybe top mid, but they're not going for it just yet. Still aware there's a chance this could be a fake. Ult gonna come through. And 2E's respecting this enough to really not want to tussle with it.
Yeah, conceding the space. There's no real follow through from FPX, but it has drawn a bit of a rotation. It's only QCK over on this side of the map now. Just holding contact towards main. Is he going to spot this out? Yes, he will. Finds actually a headshot. We'll slow things down on the way in as the spike makes its way over. Yeah, Loud. Very well equipped on both sides here.
Could be a plan though. I don't think Loud can
Yeah,
really
nothing to really
deny
stop
that.
this, no.
They've still got a little bit of a glimpse towards middle when you're keeping in mind Autumn's position, but he will.
Zanza Gaming, belum ada yang komen kah? Belum, Zanza.
Back towards B main. We have to
Sorry,
wait
sorry,
until
tadi
they
aku udah bilang sih aku
for that deep smoke
ngambil
towards main. This should
makan
start
dulu,
off the
belum makan.
retake. Ult invested from QCK, spots the player, takes him down. Can't get the follow-up in the ult, but
It's FPX finding the kills.
yeah, they're still holding on here, but Autumn's luck. There's the timing he was looking for, and it's worked so well for them. Less is in a than wanted position here. Hard to close down on the final three. I think he knows it. They're not giving him much. Loved that late play coming out from Autumn. I was wondering when he was going to enact that plan, and it was just perfectly timed. Loud have to accept this round's a loss, and FPX going to tie up the scoreline.
We'll fight back as well. Numbers advantage for Loud in the retake. See immediately QCK find out. I mean, if he does get that kill, maybe a different story, but Berlin looking very clean here. Shut down both the ultimate and QCK on the reaggress. Great conversion from FPX. Closer and closer to that Hunter's Fury. You have the Reckoning available here. Now on the other side, a lesser purchase, so.
Welcome Zanza. Aduh,
Off here into round 5.
tadi habis istirahat aku, habis live stream
Just how proactive Loud
Mole.
wanted to be.
Cuma match terakhir MPL enggak live.
It seems as if I guess the first few rounds are
Udah
a big
capek.
indicator of how Loud want to play in there.
Istirahat dulu.
Looking a lot more cautious. Still struggling to find an opener. Over on this side of the map.
Nih, Drain Shop ngalangin gak sih guys?
You can see straight away FPX is just waiting to
Ngalangin
read
map
something.
gak? Ngalangin ya?
Bit of a test of their default coming into this. Damage on Sadak seemingly enough to draw their eyes back towards LA site. I don't think they've noted Tui's.
No.
But again, Tui's does just have the Sheriff, but a couple good shots could help. But I like this heads-up work from them. Aldrone is on the way. He's going to have to relinquish this space as well. So very, very diligent up against what is, you know, a little bit of a half purchase here. Ult going to come in as well. So very much going through the motions of what they're trying to do, keeping it very clean, at least until this point. But you don't want to run too low on time now.
30 seconds left, Loud conceding sight. Have to comfortably find themselves a post plant here. And really want Karen Zing QCK to be the ones to lead the charge here, the furthest away from this retake. A little bit of time will pass.
Salah.
Let's see what they can do with this one. Anyway, they can create a little bit of a fuss here, Loud. FPX digging their heels in though. It's going to be go time right about now. Autumn good for one, but the trade does come out towards Berlin. I'm still holding back this flood from CT, not really finding the value until then. Tui's in Calentine, drawing blood, and a swing to the side. Life's now pretty questioning what the hell's going on. No idea.
Welcome. Jangan lupa diklik tombol like-nya ya Zanza. Thank you.
Keeps the composure, keeps his cool. It keeps FPX now in the
Aduh,
lead.
ini mos kenapa?
Closing, not so much of an issue.
No.
Beautiful clean up from Life after Loud. Look as if they're about to sweep their way back onto site here. Beautifully done. Left to just be a nuisance here on the flank.
One enemy remaining.
Fantastic stuff from him. To give FPX the lead here. Now we'll come back on a purchase.
Check order.
Ultimates starting to come online here, but Hunter's Fury in a tour de force. FPX looking to pace change a little bit. They're rewarded for it.
They've completely called off Loud with that pace shift. That gear switch up. Oh, and the follow-up as well. FPX with the excellent...
Chamber.
The additional body was Sadak. They may not know about this, but even then, how much can one man do? Not clean enough. He's in trouble now. And Autumn's going to back away, get himself healed back up to fighting force, and look on the other side. Still
Di
keeping
push, flash.
some
Hey.
grip on this, but QCK clears the back lines. I don't know if they noted the spike. I think that's around the corner, but still a little bit of a blow for blow here.
Ultimate in hand now for QCK, but
Makan,
FPX
guys.
with the right read once again to switch things up, knowing Loud are posting up pretty deep. Outside A lobby, catching them off guard here at the start of this round. Fortunately, losing out on the other side of the map. Life's in a position to cut off this rotation here.
Oh, timing. I mean, if they keep...
No problem is, yeah, Sadak's walking this way as well.
So he just got the God read on the timing. Sadak, with the second opportunity, right? You think about that time, he was almost... They didn't really expect him towards that A-link side.
This could be
But-
disastrous here.
The timing's everything. This time he's got the job done. Takes down Life and leaves the last two. It's so indicative that they're going towards A now. With only 14 seconds, they have to commit. They've got to get that spike down. And everyone's here, but Autumn going to keep the plant safe for a second. Sadak finally draws in closer. Lysor can't do it. Loud getting proactive there even after losing those first 2 players towards A. They still push that B main side.
Another situation, just a half second either way. Would have sniffed out this flank coming through from Loud. Yeah, well played from SATA again, not getting too greedy, no overcommit. He does find that kill onto life. Like I said, the flash catching both of them. You can see obviously Berlin just off screen. But it's unfortunate because FPX, I think, read this perfectly with what Loud are trying to achieve early round outside A. Look to shut it down here and send a message, make a response. See how that's going to change things going forwards, actually. Looking as if it is a deeper hold this time around, but maybe a setup here around the fault line.
Yeah, potentially going to play in QCK off this. Big information, but he's not alone. So close by. Yeah, still didn't get affected by the flash. Slows down the roll. They're very close by, and he wants in. 2 quick kills, but it's going to open up a chance. They're going to know there's 2 more players here. They've seen that utility. They've got to know they're on short. Life going to try and slip a little further ahead, and now here comes the problems. This should be shooting fish in a barrel, but Life still good on value. Still going to find one. Look at the damage. That's rough. Double swing, and the spray is good from Sadak. Commits to it too. He's close enough that there is no escape. This is a very hard 1v3 with very little space gained around the map beyond this corner.
Tui spots it out. Paranoia will land. A ton of utility to deal with here. Sadak will find the wallbang. And a message sent in response by Loud that we are still happy to fight for this.
Yeah. It's nice to see the adjustment too.
Yeah,
it's a different
absolutely,
look from the previous round as well.
Unfortunately, Autumn not catching really with that flash. But even knows how Life did actually get that kill. It's Cowan's in there.
Harusnya load menangnya gampang sih.
Call a timeout. Loud looking a little more fluid, a little more reactive today.
And that's
Harusnya
what we're
ya.
looking at is what form allowed in. I think we've seen the
Belum
highs and
tentu juga
lows.
kan.
And the question is, how much can FPX push that? Can they continue getting their face? That 3-round streak, they had a great read. They were playing very well. A couple of individuals stepping up. Autumn and Life with some fantastic moments for themselves. But as a collective now, you could already see Loud have adjusted, right? We just already noted, we kind of talked about it a little bit.
Not
That
Dragon
adjustment on
gitu.
A, it went from 1 player, I think it was just 2 he's holding it, to now 3 in 2 different variations. So what does FPX have as a read on that here? This is time to maybe mull that over.
Sure, and I think obviously where FPX's composition does excel is where they can get themselves towards a site. So you know what Berlin's utility can do to cut off. We've even seen the awareness from Tui's as well. Play a couple of spots early on to, I guess, try and negate that as best as possible. Get some information over the top of that wall coming through onto A site. But yeah, curious. FPX early round haven't really. I mean, 1 round where they lose out on the B side, but it's been this pretty tame default we've seen time and time again. Now we're at round 8, so it's there's a couple of question marks elsewhere. Do you start exploring mid now? It needs to be pretty well coordinated and invested. Want to do that this late in the game. This late in the half, I should say. Still options here. Hunter's Fury, and run it back.
Aduh scan gitu.
Just be, yeah. Exploration towards mid, as anticipated.
See the protocols already hitting into place. Tui's shut the door. It looks like a top mid burst, but already quite a deep hold from Sadak, so probably won't get fully
Flash kiri
affected
nih.
by this flash. No. Dips away on the corner. Should play in Tui's now. You noted that paranoia coming through. Caught a couple of them. Going to draw in less as well. This 3-man kind of pressure towards middle. Not rewarding, but maybe looking at the extremities to find that pick.
It'll probably be in now. Lysol will be called upon. QCK and Cowanzine posted up pretty deep here, but they're going to hold their position.
They're trying to make a scramble. Oh, the spam. Autumn's going to obviously keep going, but again, it's well controlled by Loud. They've held on nicely to this point. A little bit of danger going to be coming in. Sadak has connected towards Life.
Nice one, Sadak.
Berlin finding Tui's, but that was on the other side of the map. Less valuable towards this A hit, but it now falls to less. Do they check this? Does he get played in so perfectly? And again, oh wait, they must have seen him.
He saw him, yeah. Autumn turned.
And now it's uncomfortable. Oh, it's so good for
Nice
Les.
Les.
Punishing Lysor as he tried to bail them out. And then drifting back towards B, a correct read from Loud to get back to the side. FPX trying to scramble again, 15 seconds, the cross being watched, and Les is just looking so on the money here. He does get denied though. QCK, Cowanzine nearby. Oh my god, but time, 6 seconds. Does he know how close by? break at the end there, because FPX almost thriving in that chaos. Loud controlling it in the end and keeping that 3 in a row going.
Easy game, easy game nggak jadi kan? Easy game nggak sih?
To really shut down this mid
Harusnya
push. Comes out as a curve.
menangnya
I think
gampang
early on,
dong.
The information gathered nonetheless.
Load.
FPX switching things up just when you expect
Soalnya
them to.
FPX sama
Have the benefit
EDG itu kayak beda jauh
of
gitu
the
guys.
economy to fall back on now. Couple of ultimates, yes, but right, Loud with those 3 rounds in succession. Feel like they are in some control, but life still chomping at the bit.
Kan sama-sama dari Valorant Chinese kan jadinya anjing.
Let's go and walk
Valorant Cina kan.
Round like
Terus,
this, a misread potentially, you've given so
Kayak
much
kalau
opportunity.
di Cinanya sendiri aja kayak pas gue lihat,
Stack
gue
towards top
tonton
middle. I'll make it 3.
kayak
Just kinda roam
jauh
around
banget
and
kualitas
retake.
Edward Gaming
So
sama
not so subtle on the
FPX.
way, but can FPX continue along this trajectory?
Padahal
Berlin
udah
with the
ada
rifle still in hand.
luar
And
dari
still has one as well, so there is
China-
a
apa,
little
Cinanya.
bit of threat to this.
gue jadi Chinese gini bilangnya anjing.
Viper's pit on top.
Pit definitely causes some problems for Loud here. Need to step the pace up a little bit. Trying to kill ideally here, but FPX is going to tuck themselves back in towards main, not risk anything.
They got to get a move on. They got to get going. This Viper's pit's not going to be going anywhere. They're going to be sitting on this one. And actually, maybe feels over the top to use it. They're in very good control here. Berlin's position is excellent. Going to punish the barrel that just showed through. Going to put himself on the line pretty much just to make sure no one's trying to go for that
Toys,
defuse.
aduh.
And FPX lap
Ente.
up the opportunities that were left for them. Loud with a mistake there in my mind.
Giving away 2 openers here. FPX
Nggak, gue bakal temenin gue bakal stream sampai nanti Peprex main ya guys ya.
Not necessary, but to convert around like this after 3 unanswered, absolutely. Get themselves back in the game. Themselves a big move in terms of the funds as well. Look at that coming out of a purchase like that. Most players sitting around what 2,300 and above are in Lysor. Yeah, uncharacteristic of Loud. Less. Do the same thing again with the security of his wall, but I just can't TP away in time. Now noting a second here, and noting a difference in the setup, because it's typically Autumn and Life over towards A side, being the ones to push and prod and try and find an opener.
Telltale signs of the B hit. More contact made. PCle going to show his hand a little.
Duel Phoenix anjing.
FPX committed towards the site, particularly more individual from Autumn. This doesn't feel like a site hit yet, and it's not moving Loud.
Other than it being these 2 on this side of the map. Now they're probably happy after the previous round to sit back and look to respond as opposed to be decisive.
FYI ini map yang paling gue suka sebenarnya Sunset.
That's been quietly waiting over towards A.
Sebagai controller ya.
Bit of utility to clear close, which they're doing now, so this should be ringing the alarm bells that Loud might know this Yankees, but look at that top timing, Berlin and Autumn. This could be exceptional, but it's a 1-for-1. It's still valuable enough that it's pinned in Loud. They're in trouble here. So now they need to win out on the site, though. There's still a fight to be had. 20 seconds, all eyes turning towards Autumn,
Dar.
allowing safe passage, but Tuis takes him down. 15 seconds. They don't know about Salak until now, and what a horrible surprise it was. And he's just
Buset di spam.
He had a smile on his face before the round ended there. Well handled by Loud. Like I said, after the opener, happy to sit back and without having, I guess, the tangibles, the information they've learned so far in this half.
Aurogens, jangan pantang menyerah mencari subscriber kelas. Welcome to the stream Aurogens.
You can see the little smile at the end.
Udah like belum?
That's rough for FPX.
Kayaknya baru lihat nih nama
They're
Aurogens.
starting to get some of the rhythm, right? They're getting some of those reads. They're starting to try and pull the attention, pull those fakes. But Louder are very
Viewers baru kah?
willing to do
Welcome,
that.
welcome.
But Life has been very good at some of these entries, some of these openings. But look how deep Louder sitting now. What another adjustment coming out.
Iya, oh smoke-nya pakai Viper doang.
Autumn's ultimate, yeah, we'll pop this. Clear a little bit of space.
FPX.
It's expect anybody from Loud to really
Just
get down
one side
towards this
jadinya.
drone. Or the running back with
Oh kan
Tui.
Lin
Sits
Phoenix.
on the top of the box.
Udah like kelas.
And the paranoia
Kamu dari mana? Asal mana? Aurogens dari mana?
made sure he was being kept safe.
Masih sekolah kah? Apa udah kerja? Udah kuliah?
This is the plant. So for the first time in a while, yes,
Oh,
they
pakai
lost out on Berlin, but they do get
only
themselves a plant. They do
Viper.
get the time on their side, but can they hold this? Couple of ults here, nothing critical, but a lot of utilities
Menurut gue
still
pribadi
around.
sih mending
That's
pakai
the
dua
issue.
smoker
So it
ya.
looks rather clear.
Komen
You're gonna
sama
see them try and
Viper
crack this
better
now.
lah.
Cowan cracks it open. Cowan swing for right. Oh, but Cowan popping off here. This is a problem. That's halfway. And they
Geter
There's
di
nothing to
spam.
be done about it.
Orang Sulawesi Utara bang, weh kelas jauh kali bah.
We approach round 12, a pace change.
Orang Sulawesi ternyata dia. Kalau wah cuy kelas keren.
Post plant, but
Masih sekolah.
time around,
Aurogens.
Tui didn't even
Ini
see
lagi
him have
sepi
that
nih.
confirmation
Ini
on the other
gue
side.
udah live
Beautiful
dari
adjustment
kemarin.
by Cowan Z to find the trade with
Soalnya
the
pas
operator.
gue bikin post di komunitas pada minta bang
Struggle a
4
little
kali
bit
stream.
with the
Ya
XW,
udah,
but
tapi restream aja ya.
life
Kita
force
nonton
available.
sambil main juga sih.
Round
Kemarin
things
main
up, Ice was at a very quiet
tadi
half,
sih main
1-10.
Mobile Legend juga. Nonton MPL.
Might be rinse and repeat here, but I'm pretty sure the camera connected to everyone.
Yeah, and Cowan's trying to be the one to capitalize on that, but didn't
Smoke
quite have it in
gitu
time.
ya,
You're going to see
searah.
he sort of force out for life as well. So, bit of a rough battle there for Cowan's who's going to try and drift away. And they're expecting pressure towards top.
Masih
lane,
sekolah,
potentially. They're
Bang.
not sure
Weh.
if this is a fully committed A
Kamu
team,
tahu
but
channel ini dari
five
mana,
players on the
Aurogens?
side of the map, and a very similar look to that last round, same kit, same utility, but eyes towards Sadak.
Oh
Is he going for that
iya
left
kan
back
smoke-nya
flanking mission? He
mereka
wants information, he knows where they're coming from. That's gonna be relayed to Tui's. But can Sadak
Viper
hold the line as well?
sama
Could be a problem. He's gonna take away.
Harbor.
Actually, the right read here, right call from Sadak. Why hit it now? He can take his time. There's still no rotation. from QC.
Harbor it's okay
Now
sih.
he gets a kill here. Just have the rolling thunder, which will open up the retake for Loud. They're going to slow things down. Yeah, potentially
Jedar,
try and get
absen.
the kill.
Trying to play him in. Oh, two
timing
targets.
banget Kwanzin.
Really nicely handled from FPX. There is a trade for Tui's. And now we look at this
Muncul di
fully
beranda YouTube
fledged
gue bang,
Tui's
kelas.
gorgeous from life. Holds them away.
Lah sumpah gue baru
QCK though.
kesini lagi setelah sekian lama. Welcome Iqbal. Udah lama nggak kesini, apa kabar? Nih kayaknya yang lain juga kayaknya masih, kalau nggak masih di si Amuy, di David paling. David kan sama Amuy lagi main Mobile Legend ya.
Say side post plant.
Kan gue tadi udah
Times been shut
Udah
down.
pusing,
That's
udah
it.
capek.
Like previously the hero.
Mobile Legend lagi, Mobile Legend lagi.
Loud, a course correction.
Pengganti Aspas nih.
Find themselves an 8-4
Quick
advantage here
one.
in the first half.
Yeah, big turn of events, Loud.
Cukur
Putting
nih.
themselves up to
Iya
8
dong.
gives them so
Cukur
much
lah.
more leverage. A little worry
Udah
early
nggak
on, I'm
mulet-mulet
sure,
lagi,
but
guys.
those 3 rounds connected.
Tadi
However,
pagi
let's
masih
look
mulet.
at themselves.
Coba cek replay. Rambut gue masih panjang. Sore gue
Oi,
pagi baru
sou
cukur gue.
jogador da Loud. Acho que pecamos muito no primeiro mapa.
Udah pada makan belum?
Eu-
Jangan lupa makan guys.
Eu acho que a gente tava
Ini
muito
gua
bem nos
bakal
treinos.
live kayaknya sampai pagi,
A gente tava
sampai
bem,
Peprex
as coisas
main
que a gente tinha e-
lawan tim
Foi bem.
Heretics.
Só que infelizmente a gente não conseguiu mostrar
Nama
nosso
modelnya
verdadeiro-
apa nih?
nosso verdadeiro
Low
jogo.
Taper Fat.
Essa série, acho que com certeza, tipo, pra mim a derrota essa
Ini
Keybooard,
versi
tipo,
pakai
porque
pomade
mostra
nih.
pontos
Sampai
fracos
sahur
seu,
ya, sampai sahur.
então, pra mim, todas as derrotas eu
Sampai
eu-
sahur gua bakal
Deixa eu
stream,
ver
kita
os
nonton,
pontos.
gua temenin yang mau
A gente pode
nonton.
contornar a situação.
This is now gonna get scary, right?
Di YouTube ada YouTube-nya Valorant, tapi biasa kalau YouTube-nya Valorant itu lebih lambat ya, delay berapa sepersekian detik. Kalau yang nggak punya akun Twitch bisa nonton bareng sama gue di sini.
Pra mostrar nossos erros e ver como
Kalau mau
a gente
nonton
pode
sendiri
contornar a situação.
silakan, nggak apa-apa. Kita nobar
Vocês
aja.
podem esperar que terá uma loja muito melhor e muito mais constante pro próximo.
So the next game. Sampai sahur. Nanti sahur, kayaknya sahur gue bakal nyoba main, bukan nyoba main. Bakal mainin demonya Troublemaker 2. Gue pengen tahu gimana Troublemaker 2 itu, gimana kata orang-orang sih lebih keren daripada yang pertama, lebih luas sebutannya, apa ya?
Like I said previously, Loud,
Kayak lebih bisa dimainin gitu, kayak
no
beneran
strangers to elimination
game gitu.
no strangers to
Kopi sama
losses on
pisangnya
the
dulu nih,
international
mana?
stage, but,
Wow.
it's good to hear
Enggak lagi,
that's
ini
kind of
gua
the
baru
right.
makan
Yeah, we
setelah
know
buka
we
puasa.
say it. Like I said, obviously the
Tadi kan sholat dulu, restream dulu
series from
MPL.
Gen G does
Restream
give a
selesai,
little more
sholat.
additional context to that.
Sholat beres, makan, ini baru makan, baru sambil live. Harusnya tadi Aura
We're
lawan
looking for a lot of those All
Tahun
the
apa tadi?
sloppiness that you
Rebellion
don't
gua
expect
nonton,
from
cuman
Leader.
nggak
And
ini.
whether or not you can attribute that to, I mean, earlier on the interview saying that
Bakal lebih
jet lag
toxic
and
nggak sih
stuff,
gamenya?
It happens.
It does.
But,
Troublemaker ya?
you've got to also look at FPX when Carmine Core hit in a 2-0.
Kayaknya
A lot of
sih
people had exceptionally high expectations
apa ya,
when it
masih
came to
batas
Carmine Core, so seeing
wajar
that,
itu.
It wasn't a huge shock. But
Itu apaan,
I
Bang?
see more
Apa yang
depth
gua
to
makan?
FPX. I wanna see more
Atau
from
apa?
some of the players who you can see the mechanical capability there by a country mile. There's some of them incredibly talented. So let's see if that can be
Apa tuh?
brought
Nanya
together
apa
at
tuh?
the
Apa
right
kalau
time
gua
here.
makan, gua lagi
Potentially
makan
get them
nasi merah,
first
sayur
international
lodeh.
wins.
Sayur lodeh
That's
itu
what
apa ya
we're
kalau
talking about
kalau
is a brutal
umumnya?
one when you're facing the likes of
Ya, sayur.
And
And
then
it's,
Loud.
it's
Sayur
obvious, the
jagung.
longer that goes on, the more elusive
Oh,
that
Troublemaker itu game.
Yeah. Like I said, you-
Jadi dulu ada game Troublemaker doang. Itu game buatan Indonesia.
it's definitely tough.
Game buatan Indonesia yang jadi kayak anak sekolah gitu, anak SMK, anak-anak
There was a little off there. Should be planned.
apa sebutannya dulu, lupa gua zaman gua dulu. Bukan SMK dulu tuh.
Looking to potentially
Itulah pokoknya ribut-ribut gitu kan. Anak bandel gitu. Nah, itu udah beres tuh. Nah, ini lagi bikin yang kedua nih, Troublemaker 2. Gue penasaran. Nah, itu gamenya, itu game. Bisa dimainin sih demonya seinget gua. Kata-kata tongkol pasti ada ya? Pasti ada. Pasti nggak mungkin nggak ada ngomong kona, itu nggak mungkin. Anjing aja pasti ada gitu. Anak berandalnya SMA pokoknya. Iya, terus tapi gua baca, kan gua udah download ya, maksudnya udah dimasukin ke Steam, udah gua download. Gua baca-baca di komunitasnya juga, di community ceritanya lanjut, Iqbal. Jadi ceritanya tuh lanjut dari si Budi kan udah lulus sekolah. Dia kan kuliah nih, apa jadi petarung lah apa sebutannya. Pokoknya udah lulus sekolah. Nah, ceritanya dari lulus sekolah itu. Terus ada karakter-karakter baru atau karakternya kayak di-upgrade gitu, kayak jadi kayak lebih cantik, lebih keren gitu. Oh, oke, iya. Itu game. Kalau kamu main di warnet, kamu bisa di Steam. Kalau kamu punya PC di rumah juga, kalau punya Steam bisa di Steam ada. Bakal nyampe kuliah nggak sih? Seinget gua, pas gua cek di community, si Budi tuh nggak kuliah. Dia jadi petarung beneran gitu. Di ini sama bapaknya juga. Emang gua belum lihat lagi. Ntar pagi deh. Habis sahur atau jeda ini beres. Kalau jedanya lama kita coba Troublemaker.
Early look, no reward for it though. I've got to say, I'm out of the, if I'm talking about kind of silver linings here, have been enjoying watching live. I mean, that previous series against KC, it put him, a little on the radar. You're like, okay, maybe there's some more value to that later on. Maybe he's got, something cooked up here, but I want to see if he continues on this trajectory throughout the rest of this series.
Jujur sih ya, kalau orang-orang yang nggak terlalu suka Valorant, mereka bakal jarang nonton yang kayak gini. Yang tim-tim jarang terdengar di kuping mereka kayak FPX. Sebenarnya kan FPX itu udah tim lama. Loud juga tim lama. Cuman kan bukan favorit orang Indonesia kebanyakan. Orang Indonesia biasanya kalau nggak Sentinel, PPX, RRQ kan baru masuk franchise, PRX, apalagi. Dulu tuh FPX sebelum regionnya begini nih, jadi franchise gini, itu pemainnya pemain Euro aja, Eropa maksudnya. Terus ada kayak pindah domisili gitu, ya udah.
FPX's potential to work their way back into this half.
Sadak's reaction's just so good. So good, he's just a happy chappy. Yeah, I think, I'm glad you noted it as well. I think we all note now, looking especially at the timeline when we get a glimpse in game again, how much of a string around it is, because there was that one back but outside of that, this has been a run for Loud. This has been them turning up those 3 in a row that FPX were able to
Yeah,
garner
like I said,
early.
I mean, earlier on in the half, we credited FPX to having a good read on the situation and, like I said, reading exactly what Loud wanted to do in terms of preventing FPX from taking that space. Happy to take the fight to them, but I mean, after that, it's when kind of Loud sink their teeth in a little bit, get a grasp on what's going on, and unfortunately,
Easy game ini kata gua mah.
coming out the first half. There's few opportunities after losing the pistol.
FPX tuh kayak tertekan gitu mainnya.
FPX are going to really have this.
Menurut gua.
Them getting proactive once again. It was extremely uneasy to justify doing so when you have such a pivotal round to get on the board here.
Iko ya.
Also, with how kind of linear it was around Life and Autumn, I think Loud are kind of reading into
Di daerah lu tarawih berapa rakaat? Ada 2 nih. Di musola sebelah rumah gua itu 21. Di masjid rumah gua di perumahan lah di daerah rumah itu 11. Sementara di musola 21. Jadi musola sama masjid tuh kayak lumayan deket. Ngapain quick, banyak-banyakin, sehat-sehat dah. Dar, absen. Double picknya salah, 1-1 jatuhnya. Harusnya double pick tuh beneran 2 gini. Makan ekonomi.
Yeah, the confidence still there. They're happy to post up and prevent Loud from walking around the map.
Lebih milih musola sih gue 21. Gue milih gini, kalau yang di rumah gue tuh jadi meskipun jumlah rakaatnya beda, Bang, jamnya sama. Cuma beda beberapa menit doang. Kayak misalkan yang 11 rakaat sama 21, harusnya yang 21 lebih lama dong. Iya kan? Tapi enggak. Kadang musola ini yang 21 rakaat selesai duluan. Kadang juga yang masjid duluan, tapi cuma beda berapa menit gitu. Soalnya kalau yang di masjid itu bacaannya kayak bener-bener baca gitu kan. Makanya kayak 21 rakaat. Nah, kalau yang 21 tuh bacanya gue kurang tahu, nggak bisa nyebut ini bener apa salah. Gue tahu ilmunya, tapi kalau untuk yang lainnya kan bukan ahlinya gue. Cuman bacaannya bagus lah gitu kan. Cuma lebih cepat gitu. Misalkan Allahu Akbar, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin, Arrahmanirrahim, Maliki yaumiddin. Disambungin gitu. Boleh kan? Cuma maksudnya jadi cepat. Kalau di masjid enggak. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Stop. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin gitu. Bukan yang kayak sound-sound di TikTok atau di Instagram yang ramai itu yang Allahu Akbar, Alhamdulillah, amin. Lucu banget lagi anjir. Tinggal 4 ya.
Difficult for FPX to try and stick this here. The Cove has to find some value to get them the half. It does. That might be it. Yep, I think knows that as well. Going to back away on this one, Loud. Look in control. Even in that post plant that could have been dangerous, could have been deadly.
Salah ya itu. Gitu. Nggak kayak gitu. Untungnya nggak kayak gitu. Ama salah.
The hot hands go inside the smoke here. Your life just left to cook. Not a good way.
Ini Aurogens, kamu ngikutin Valorant? Apa kamu main Valorant? Atau kamu main game apa? Mainnya Mobile Legends kah? Atau Apex? Kamu FPS apa MOBA ini? Apa kita coba analisis ya guys ya? Udah kayak Profesor Frostmisty anjir. Ini mainnya slow, sumpah slow banget.
Put them firmly in the driving seat, but not as decisive this time around.
They're still aware,
yeah,
maybe
wait.
that push up
Yeah,
or,
exactly.
Welcome ya,
there's a couple of
Eurogames.
positions they leant upon before, and
Jangan
you can
lupa
see
di
how
subscribe
Vic's
juga,
trying to read this as a
makasih.
big piece, but that's not the case at all. Maybe just gonna allow for the Blood to come in and play for the full
Cepet
retake
mainnya
here.
laut.
QCK going to try and take as much space as possible. Not going to know anyone might have seen something on CT. So that's going to be Elise Ayan noted. Sanak has found Berlin. That was over towards Market. Maybe just spam through the smoke, but a likely position nonetheless. Going to leave Quarantine on the site.
Satu.
Good clear from Lysor. First step,
Masih ada
they
smoke,
cleared
Pak.
the site itself, but that deeper
Mati
hole.
smokernya.
Now Sanak can drift deeper and deeper on this with the Hunter's Fury. Less still with 2 snake bites as well, so we're asking another difficult defuse to come through here, but Lysor found one blind.
That's enough though. Pulls the trigger. They've got to be careful on this, but Tui's and Sanak there it is in unison. Careful now. Fine margins, but fine work from Loud. Holding on to this one.
Saving
again,
lagi,
showing
mau nggak
that
mau.
composure in these key
Smoker
rounds.
satunya
But
mati
Lysor
buat ngalangin.
having to back away. FPX, they haven't got a grip on Loud here.
Yeah, it's difficult really to break apart some of these post-planted B main, but the lack of map control elsewhere, limited options for FPX. Almost when you want to see Life and Autumn really
Sekarang
taking advantage of a lack of presence shown by
Sentinel udah
Loud
kurang ya.
over on the A side of the map. Maybe not feeling
Kebanyakan
comfortable enough to
role-nya
justify the full
jadi 2
5v5.
smoker, 2 inisiator.
Tough to see here. 7-round deficit. Couple of rifles, well, 3 rifles to come through here, and some key ultimates all the way from the pit as well for Lysor.
You heard it. QCK willing to fight
Di
on
daerah
this
gue juga
space.
sama 2-1, tapi sama imamnya dipermudah gitu. Misal katanya bacaan sujud dan ruku 1 kali bacaan aja cukup. Oh, katanya bacaan sujud dan ruku 1 kali bacaan aja cukup. Kalau 3 kali bacaan itu sunahnya. Kenapa dipermudah di daerahku? Karena imamnya lumayan cepet. Oh, ya tahu aku ilmunya tahu. Emang sebenarnya 1 pun nggak apa-apa. Misalkan Subhanarabbiyal a'la, Subhanarabbiyal a'la gitu sekali doang. Subhanarabbiyal azimi wa bihamdi sekali doang itu nggak apa-apa. Cuma kan sunahnya terus kita kan di Indo kan Syafi'i kebanyakan jadi 3. Dan jadi nama sunah apa? Wali Songo misalkan. Atau apa gitu. Ustadz dulunya kan begitu sebelum sekarang. Absen. Kosong dong A-nya. Dah. Game pertama punyanya Laut. Dar.
It's clean work for Loud. They are looking very sharp here.
Very decisive performance here, bouncing back from some question marks in our opening series for sure. Definitely looking like they've tightened things up, cleaned things up a little bit here. Fortunate for FPX to really have to now bounce back from that elimination series.
Yeah, this one hasn't been what FPX would have wanted. That's only map 1.
Jadi terserah deh mau 1 kali. Jadi terserah deh mau 1 kali, 2 kali, 3 kali silakan aja. Tapi direkomendasiinnya 1 kali aja. Kalau lagi traweh dan imamnya cepet, oh ya nggak apa-apa. Berarti emang imamnya karena cepet 1 kali pun nggak apa-apa. Kan kita ngikut imam. Jadi jadi gini Bal, seingatku ya dulu waktu belajar tuh apa namanya? Kita sholat kan dipimpin imam nih. Berarti kan bacaannya, misalkan doanya, suratnya itu kan tergantung imam kan. Kita ngikut imam. Makanya karena aku tahu ilmunya dulu kayak gitu, aku paling malas kalau disuruh jadi imam. Sholat wajib kayak sholat sunnah. Meskipun sunnah harusnya sendiri gitu. Tapi berjamaah pun tidak apa-apa. Wah, ASMR. ASMR ngebenyekin botol minum. Let's go Paperex, y'all got this. Belum mulai. Baru 1-0. Tim Heretic tuh dari mana? Eropa ya? Lupa lagi gue. Berapa menit sih nih? 2 menit ya? Kita cari apa ya? Valorant Japan anjing. Si Tarik lagi live. Kita main Valo dulu kali ya. Yang gue paling dihindari di masjid yaitu disuruh azan dan iqomah. Ingat, bukannya gue nggak hafal ya. Terus kenapa? Karena apa? Karena kedengeran ya sama orang-orang ya. Terus kenapa? Karena kedengeran orang Bal, apa gimana Bal? Gak pede malu sumpah. Oh, tenang, gue juga pernah ngerasain. Kalau gue dulu seringnya di sekolah. Imam apa dulu? Imam sholat zuhur ya kan, nggak bersuara kenceng. Asar, imam sholat apa? Zuhur, asar, maghrib, subuh. Subuh bersuara. Isya bersuara. Zuhuran enggak.
I think that's really good for us, this tournament, for our development, you know, so I think that I say to them, like, you have a great opportunity here, so let's make our better, so if we lose, we need to go home, so we want to stay here in Madrid.
Nothing to lose, and all of Madrid to keep you motivated, right? All right, let's see if Loud can close this out.
5 waktu siap gue, yang sunnah pun siap. Kan kalau ada imam yang apa, ada sholat yang harus bersuara kayak maghrib tuh. Maghrib bacanya harus lantang kan. Kalau gue dulu waktu kecil tuh bukannya malu, takut salah bacaannya, takut salah nadanya, tajwidnya, mahorijul huruf.
I think that's fair to say. You know, looking at even then swapping to an attack side for Loud, you saw them deny Life's early aggression with constant flashes. He couldn't post and hold angles and find the value that we'd seen before. Couldn't get as aggressive as in
Oke lah, first round, second round senjata kan. Ketiga kalah karena full buy.
and again set into these deeper
Ini udah
plays where
senjata.
Loud have constantly been able to take advantage of the space.
Karena
They-
dia
Yeah, Loud showed why
miskin,
this
miskin,
actually does
miskin,
have a lot
miskin.
of depth, even if it
Di
looks
sini
weird
biasanya
to you.
saving,
Like,
baru
they
beli,
went 9
bisa
to 1
menang,
with
habis itu
run rounds
dibalas.
this one. Absolutely dominant. And as we look at the same lab shooter, and I mean, Sadak, I don't even know if he needs to warm up more. The guy was doing great map one with the calls.
You know, as an elder statesman myself, I just like to see what the big brain Sadak likes to do, so that this way I can learn a little bit for these aim lab shoot arounds. But in any case, though, yeah, you're not wrong, man. I really just feel like Sadak, this entire team, they're just playing at a comfortable level right now, Mitch. It's quite scary, and FPX are going to need to turn this around.
Yeah, we can talk about pistols as well being coin tosses, but Loud still came out winning both of them as well, which just puts another nail in the coffin for the side of FPX. I think there's not a lot that they can look at in that last map with positives. At least it was over quickly. And really, that's the question now. Moving on to the next is can they make that recovery?
Of course, we'll see. But let's actually jump over to hear what FPX's Nathan has to say heading into map 2.
Kita predik dulu nggak sih?
Fabs here, and now I'm with Nathan D and Luna to help with some translation.
Yang menang udah pasti Loud nggak sih?
FPX of course struggled a little bit. Is the team more confident now that we're going into Breeze, which is your map pick? What's the game plan?
100.
其实刚才看到有一点点的小挣扎吧，但是在第二张图就将进入到我们的选图微风岛屿，你们的计划是什么？
lagi 1000.
这个选择之后，我们应该会打得比较从容，比较自信一点。图一
1900
输掉了，我们不会去管图一到底发生什
1000
么，
lagi dah.
我们就专注到图二，打出我们自己想打的东西就 OK 了。
I think we come the map 2, it's our pick, so we're definitely gonna be more
Okay.
confident. We're gonna forget
Menang
what
gampang
happened
harusnya.
on map 1 and play our own thing.
All right, let's see if FPX make a comeback like a phoenix on map number 2.
Yeah, that's going to be the thing that they need to do here. They need to find that next gear, Mitch. How do they get back into this one with a Loud team that
Tapi
really
gue
just
itu
looks like
seringnya
they are poised to
ngegantiin
go.
Ustadz yang lagi nggak bisa hadir di masjid.
The next map up is Breeze.
Aku yang nggak bisa hadir di masjid aku itu 5 waktu itu udah ditentuin imamnya sama. Oh, ngerti.
That gives me some hope that we're not going to see this same deflated team.
Rax, tadi siang nasi padangnya enak. Mana ada tadi siang anjir. Si makan tuh gua. Puasa bos, puasa.
Where they got it real close versus EDG regionally. Berlin had 26 kills, Autumn had 24. They were fragging
Astra masih masuk.
fire off today.
And we did see some moments in the first half from FPX.
Dua
from those
smoker,
individuals,
oke.
but definitely tapered off
Strat,
towards the latter end.
Sofa
Breeze is
pasti
the
wis.
upset map in the pool.
Oh, dia
It is the
pakai
map
dua
where you have some
duelis.
incredible individuals. If you're having a good game, you can upset literally anyone. The difference between top and bottom teams on this map very slim. The variance very high.
I
It's a great
see,
opportunity
dua
for
duelis.
FPX to come back, especially with a very disruptive comp like this. Playing with that, you're playing with the Jet on their attack side. Those double dive executes are super strong, and on defense, honestly, they'll show some pretty good retakes with the flash Silva dot
Siang
combos,
aja
with
gua
the
nggak
Astra
kemana-mana.
smokes, and those pulls to help
Cukur
get back
doang
into
gua
it.
pagi rak.
And one other thing,
Mana makan?
He's moving over to the Viper. Last time we saw that, he hasn't played a lot of it
Jadi
historically.
gua
but he played
backup
it here at
yang
this event. I think he
apa nih?
walked out with
Tunggu.
26 kills himself. He was looking unbelievable, and I don't expect him to
Ketutupan
do
lopat.
any less than that here.
It's going to be a tall order for FPX and also Mitch
Oh,
has got
jadi
another less
jadi
reference in
backup
there. I
buat
hate
yang
that. Let's send it
apa?
back over to your commentators
Yang nggak
for
bisa
this
hadir,
one.
ngerti
Can't
ngerti
be
ngerti.
hot,
I see,
they
I see.
can ridicule him
Zaman-zaman gue SMA tuh kayak gitu. Cuma gue di masjid sekolah.
I don't know, I can't.
We're in a good
Tapi
mood
bukan
today.
jadi yang imam ya, karena nggak boleh.
Don't come over here.
Imam
Jimmy, isn't it?
khutbah Jumat pernah ya.
Let's go, let's go, throw it out.
Itu siswa tuh zaman SMA tuh. Tanya nih si Rax tuh, si Raka.
Sensitive boy.
Biasanya ajan itu
This map,
murid
this game is worrying me, Mike,
siswa.
because, I
Khutbah
wasn't
pernah
there.
sekali
Yeah, 'cause Loud just hit the Uno
kakak
reverse.
kelas gua dulu ketua Rohis.
Pretty much. Yeah, we'll
Abis
bust
itu,
out like the most
abis dia doang, abis itu temen gua Hanura,
proficient on it.
terus siapa khutbah, abis itu udah nggak ada lagi. Nggak tahu sekarang ya sekolah gua gimana.
Basically a deathmatch lobby is what it felt like last time. And
Hoak, pala lu kan bener.
Maintain that concept. I mean, don't get me wrong, Autumn and Life are very good, but they're going to need to do a lot more than that.
Pasti
here.
deg-degan kau kan.
Let's see what they got.
Aku
Loud
dipilih.
attack, of course, FPX
Aku nolak.
decided already. It's looking like last map. At least
Digantiin
size.
jadinya.
Autumn, you got something for us?
Aduh,
Okay.
goyang.
Good connection
Sadak.
towards QCK.
Dar. Nah,
Can't
yang
deal
goyang
with
FPX.
Houndsing, though, and again, I'm waiting for that plant. I don't think anything's going to stop it. No, that flank gets called off from Lysol. Ayang did find a connection. So down
Flash
to
mati di
3
mana?
now, and yeah, look at the HP. Maybe maybe Sadak just gonna leave himself.
Oh,
A body
I
on the
see,
side here,
ngelempar
forced to
toxic.
swing and does go down. Game back on here.
Dar,
2v2.
kalah Aim.
That was maybe a little individual Ryang there, but Lysol, what have you got for us? Not a defuse.
Yeah, upgrade to a ghost, but we'll dig both loud players out of this position. Not going to be very easy.
And the
Easy
worst
win
too
nggak
is
sih
we
ini
left
harusnya?
the post plan again.
Harusnya ya.
Very difficult. They can
Double
buy
epic.
time, free information. I saw desperate to try and get something. You can't blame the man for trying, but yeah, Loud not going to let this one slip.
Ente.
Again, didn't really see Loud rely too much on sight hits and full-on executions previously versus Genji. Pissed around if it is any sort of indicator. Well, adjustment in their approach here. But yeah, really looking towards Life and Autumn to be very self-sufficient as well in these roles. Both the Yoru and the Jet. Pull a fight here on Breeze, obviously not going to see it necessarily.
Sebenarnya kualitas sudah beda jauh, Rak. FPS yang FPX yang dulu sama FPX yang sekarang. Kalau yang dulu kan FPX masih siapa aja tuh, lupa gua namanya, badan yang gede-gede. Ardis tuh FPX dulu. Ingat gua FPX ngalahin Peprex di final VCT Master apa gitu. Lihat ngapain. Konyol, cok. Astagfirullahalazim. Ente dah. Full buy. Lihat guys, kalau di turnamen itu jelas ya. Second round itu lu full buy, anjay, jangan saving. Nanti di third roundnya ya lu ngelengkapin gitu. Lihat tuh load. Aduh, kalah senjata juga sih.
That's what you like to see, but there's a lot of players here. Life gonna get the follow-up contact, gonna smoke it off, but Cowanzine gonna get that pick, I believe, over from main. Yeah, and he's still going for it as well. That's not bad from Autumn. Right place, right time for him. That's the spike noted. Another player followed up. He's starting to heat up. Two already in this round, potentially.
Goyang aimnya.
Doesn't with the Bulldogs, so the plant looking like it's back on the cards. Young has a lot of utility.
Tulinya low.
Playing in from CT.
Sadak nggak boleh mati.
So they could potentially really isolate some of these players.
Dar, udah. Tapi gue salut sih sama yang terawihnya 8 jam dalam semalam pasti hatam Quran. Bayangin aja 1 bulan gitu, terus mereka berdiri tidak dengan kaki tapi dengan iman. Anjay, kelas banget bahasanya. Tapi dengan iman. 8 jam, cok. 21 aja 2 jam ya. 8 jam zaman kapan aja? Zaman kita dibikin cuma 21 rakaat, 21 tuh 11 itu kan bukan gara-gara karena Nabi kan, karena Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Nabi Muhammad, jadinya kita diringankan. Dulu aja Nabi Ibrahim nggak salah, lupa gue, Nabi Ibrahim sholat, bukan sholat lah sebutannya zaman Nabi Ibrahim, ibadah berjam-jam sampai kakinya sakit atau apa gitu. Itu apa namanya, dia kuat coy, dia nggak ngerasain sakit, yang penting ibadah. Al-Baqarah lumayan lama loh. Al-Baqarah aja 2 juz 3 juz ya, lupa lagi. Lebih dari 1 juz. 1 surat itu, anjay.
Kaunzin down low has a lot of kit to play with, so wants to try and use it to facilitate this play towards site. Life's in danger here. He's still
dapat lagi.
finding value. QCK goes down. He's dodging just about everything. How the hell are they alive here?
Ada, terus smoke anjir.
Thriving in the chaos and still holding full control. That spike didn't make it out of main. Loud being held at the door. Mortar just ensuring that by playing up a little bit closer.
Alah nggak dijaga 2 lawan
Pivotal player, actually, no, say that. Autumn
3 lawan 4 tapi sini 2.
I saw might be dead here. The pop flash gonna buy a couple of seconds, and speaking of seconds, they're down to 15. Yeah, Lights are on a platter. They've got to know about Autumn, but he's still firing. Great work from Autumn and Ayang there. That's
menang.
much better.
Nice
That's
one.
what you want to be seeing from FPX.
Jangan kalah lah Laut, sumpah. Gue udah naro channel poin 1900 loh. Kenapa gue nggak FPX aja ya biar gede? Tapi nggak yakin menang gue FPX. Mulai ngantuk gara-gara 2 hari sambil streaming nonton ginian. Biasanya kalau nonton doang kagak ngantuk bro. Emang ay anjir. Dapat dong. Mati juga.
Autumn is I'm enjoying watching him on this map much more. I want to see more from him. Lysol gonna deal with Kaunzin.
Ini map terlalu luas anjay.
Really? Looking at Tui's here to crack open some space, but haven't really been having much of an attempt towards his B site yet.
Jujur, gue nggak mampu kalau 8 jam hafalan Quran, gue nggak sampai segitu banyak. Asalnya itu, biasanya kita kan cuma jus 30 kan, jus ama. Satu lagi. Dar, udah beres.
They forget about him up there. He was earlier up towards shoot. There was always that potential. He could have drifted back.
8 jam. Waktu gua umroh, enggak deh, enggak pas Ramadan. Dia lumayan lama sih ayatnya. Cuman di yang beberapa ayatnya doang gitu. Suratnya surat panjang.
Nonetheless, Loud able to recover here. With minimal investment, able to get a 3rd round on the board.
Agresif. Mampus, salah dong gue prediksi ini. Gue dukung Loud gara-gara lihat match pertama. Oh ini mapnya FPX anjing.
Less than 2, he's left with very little here.
Well, let's try and catch somebody on the retreat back towards A site. Who's in QCK elsewhere? Posted on this angle. Crisp on the first here. We'll spot the second. Doesn't overcommit. We want to give away an opportunity to Loud here.
2. Aduh. Mati dong dia. Absen. Keuangan bos. Chef nggak sih? Duit Load juga kurang, cok.
Literally, don't look at them. They're understanding the process. They've gone, this is up to something. Let's hold for a moment. That spike is within touching distance. He's got to be careful of Berlin, who is, I think, jump spotting, but not particularly deep. He has left the spike up here, so back we go. And where do you go for?
Tapi 8 jam itu beneran ada di Indonesia dan itu Ramadan saat ini saat ini cuman kurang tahu daerahnya di mana. Videonya ada. Oh iya kah? Anjir 8 jam, cok. Yes, kalau gua ketiduran bangunin ya. Sumpah, mata gua udah beler banget ini. Udah masih sipit jadi kayak lagi mabok anjing mata. Astagfirullah.
A little bit of a further commitment here on this early round aggression that we didn't see on the first map. Sunset looks
Sambil rebahan dikit ya guys ya.
laboured, maybe lack of tools like we already noted, didn't feel too comfortable.
Kurang rebahan
Committed
ini.
to that sort of play style, but again, a brief
Kayaknya gue juga bakal ketiduran juga. Ya cowok nggak tahu kenapa ini mata gue. Ya gue nonton pasti nonton, cuman jadi kayak denger suaranya doang biasanya.
Looking unapproachable, at least from main. So maybe gonna have to opt for that play up through middle, which is what Les is trying to test a little bit for now, but progress towards tube, it's something that has been left somewhat vulnerable, but Autumn...
Ini gue jatuhnya bangku kenyamanan bukan bangku gaming anjing. Tapi emang gaming santai sih gue nyarinya. Jadi kayak look buat gaming bisa, buat nyantai bisa, tapi malah terlalu santai.
At the end of tube there. Salak still posted up. Doubt we'll see a reaggress here. So down to 56 HP. Might fancy his chances.
He's fancying it.
Gue nyimak dah.
Salak being tested, and it's not
Sekarang
just
ya.
Salak. Look what's behind him. There's other players trying to follow this path.
Boleh.
Waiting towards middle. We've got Quarantine here too.
Komen juga nggak
It's a pressure
apa-apa.
point they want to try and explore.
Gue baca kok.
And a weapon they want to get into
Masih
hand.
kelihatan. Bukan masih kelihatan, maksudnya
Still two
kalau
players to clear on
kalau
A.
gue masih respon berarti gue masih bangun.
Also go take main, but there is a player there as well. So a battle on two fronts, not a comfortable one. Live gonna spot two. He's now a little sketchy, but he's losing.
Hey,
Support
timing
system.
banget.
VCT, they found the player at the back of sight, and now they got to fight on two fronts. And FPX winning out. 13 seconds. It's a scramble. Berlin goes down, but Life's position could still be devastating. Where's his support? Where is Lysol? Oh god, he's got a judge. And the position going to be seen. They
Kena
now
lagi,
know
Trap.
where both of these players are. There's still a question mark for Quarantine. Does he double back? But Les's position could be pivotal.
Yeah, Lysol does get an upgrade here, so rifle in hand, but HP on life definitely a concern. Recon bolt available.
Oh, wow.
That's going to be caught in this snake bite, but Kauzin with the bailout.
What a savior of the Lysol, though, outdoes Les, and now it's game back on, but time.
Kauzin
You can
can
hear that
disconnect
tick.
from this, yeah.
This is really difficult for Lysol. He needs to find a pixel out of
Ini
place.
sampai
or a shot
Lysol
free, which really
menang lawan
Quarantine isn't
Quarantine,
going to give him.
keren.
Look at the plant position. It's something that Quarantine can play, and
Lysol
Lysol,
knows it.
time to back away. A really nice attempt there, but still, Loud just scraping that through. A very close round, though.
Tui's unable to really hold down control there of A main. Life once again, alongside Berlin, making things work here. Beautiful hold initially, but like I said, once you remove that one player from A main and allow the force towards the backside of A side, unfortunately lose out elsewhere. It's Loud ultimately have no recovery factor. There's no safe spot to fall back to after losing that security of A main.
Oh dear me, Quarantine. He's going to take a little nap this round, right off the rip. Life going to get to work. You can see the purchase is missing some elements to this as well. Ian is down without armor as well. So the money was getting a little close, and Berlin actually falls. That might open up a huge chance towards this A site QCK. Yeah, that confirms it. Can Autumn be the one to change this? His position will be considered. He's been there more often than not. But Life bringing death against Loud. QCK joining Quarantine on the victim list, and away they go. They fancy their odds. They're not going to let him escape. He's hunting them down. Just losing out on the knife there, but still want to do some damage. Lights all working on the back of the information Autumn putting down, and they're still going to try and get that pressure, but no start on the plant just yet. No defuse to begin until now. Autumn stands his ground, takes down Les. Two is what he got. Anything, he's going to take down only one, and that is nowhere near enough. FPX heating up now.
On the back of both Autumn and Life here in this round.
You know, from the front.
Beautiful fight back through. Loud unable to convert this position. No surprises to see a timeout called after that. A little bit of a pace change here, but I didn't even see the switch back from the knife there. Yeah, unfortunately, I mean, Sadak obviously fallen to the snake bite here. Can't really be avoided. Well placed by Lysol. Into Life here, and now having as much as of an easy time
Aduh,
in terms of these opening
kesel
engagements they did versus Gen G. Like I said, it was very, very cut and dry, very vanilla the way the Loud approached this last time.
Rak, kalau gua ketiduran bangunin ya Rak.
I can't stress it enough. And
Bal.
don't get me wrong, it's not the
Arrogance.
Lysa and Berlin aren't doing well. They're doing very well at their jobs. They're playing the roles that they need to. But I'm loving seeing that kind of combination, that duo between Autumn and Life working here in comparison when it
Aduh,
didn't on
bahasa
Sunset.
Absolutely. If you let a Yoru and a Jet
Latin
perform like
sih
this on the
tahu
defense, you
bacanya
know they
gimana.
come into their attack in half feeling way better about themselves. Especially coming out of a map loss to open the series, sorry.
Yeah, and a dreary loss. It's not pretty. 5 rounds, you're not going to feel happy with it. Yeah, sometimes a quick loss is easier than one that's
But
drawn
not in
out.
an elimination series. That's
you know
not the
what
case.
So to bounce back like this is really quite something to witness. Now, has Loud got the chops though to find a little bit of something to work for them here? They've been finding it very hard to handle both of these pressure points of Life and Autumn. And the test begins again. Oh, Autumn, this guy is just out of this world. The only real threat to that round was going to be QCK, and he is gone in the blink of an eye. Cowanzine, yeah, he's got a Guardian, but beyond that, you've got a Sheriff and a Ghost.
Basically trying to mirror Life from the previous round. Find that opener in mid. You still have Guardian in the hands of Cowanzine, but right, the Blade Storm was really going to be. Well, to actually found a headshot there. Well, it's only 66 HP left on 2Es. Cowanzine found a time in here.
Okay, that's a rifle. If 2Es can possibly cross up to it, I don't think he's got the time to do it now, but
He's got to wait for his Toxin to rebuild.
I mean, the end game looks like less to eventually creep towards A, but this is a really hard fight for Cowanzine because the timing's rotten. Yeah, Life perfectly played that.
Yeah, looking to police that weapon.
And they're
prevent anybody
still
from coming through.
so aware of the possibility of less.
30 seconds left.
Not much left for Loud to really do here. A Sheriff and a Ghost. Is Life going to give this one away?
He's drifting. Did he get spotted
No, I
at
don't think so.
all?
No, pin coming through. Right, he's cleared though.
And now 2Es with 13 seconds, and the dream doesn't even get to be started. FPX, look, the early attempt, the early goer for Loud was going to be off the back of that ult invested from QCK, but he's had a quiet performance so far. That could have been a nice way to push him up in this map at least, should I say. And not to get it, there it is. Look at this guy. Yeah, Autumn's very nice to watch. This is what it should have been about, right? That timeout that came in, probably not for the last round, but the one between. This is what it was for, the buy round that's coming in now. And 5-4, Loud need answers because FPX have been meeting them every step of the way, and it's been individual, it's been punchy, but it's been damn good.
Here.
Gonna note a couple of steps. Bring the alarm bell towards middle. And a further adjustment here again from FPX.
So posting Life up. So won't expect to see him getting too aggressive here. Especially with nobody on the side of Loud on the other side of the halls to him.
And if you're Loud, you're so conditioned to be worried about, okay,
Yeah,
to make the play.
exactly.
Is Life gonna be here?
They're
Where
waiting
are
to
they?
see who shows where around the map.
Berlin drifting a little out into the sights there. Left. Wanting for HP. But he isn't alone. Mortar by his side, and we noted it early, and as did you now watching. Life in closer. There is a player watching 2Es. Who gets the timing right here? Life walking in. He's been seen, and he gets to keep his life, which is the more surprising part. So now the 3-play stack that was on this side of the map going to be rewarded, and he's actually just going for it. Berlin's fallen, as has Life. It's all on Autumn. What can this man do? Nothing this round. Put down, and the side plant should be coming in very comfortably here, as the other two players quite far away.
Punchy reaction there to the pressure coming through towards the Loud spawn. Unfortunately, that side hole just crumbling under the pressure. I saw was a little curious. You try and find an exit somewhere. I mean, looking at the funds on the side of Loud, if you can remove a rifle, could cause some issues. Loud seemingly aware of his general position there.
That's enough that he's gone. I'll give it a second attempt.
Yeah, and in these slower rounds, it's really less to be the ones to, I guess if there's no early round aggression from FPX, it's less that becomes the pivotal player in terms of information and sniffing out where that threat is. Some around life left unchecked. Loud have shown a lot of presence up tube actually.
Yeah. It was one of the first rounds we haven't seen them explore it, so you almost feel bad for life in that regard.
Yeah,
You're like,
he's not rewarded.
yeah. But this much more patient play, you know, a much longer held default as well by Loud. That was extremely patient. It was, I think it was 2 who sat at the, you know, very back by spawn, basically watching for that tube pressure, which is maybe just a nice counter read because they had been exploring that so often, but still. Loud find a little bit of a solution. But adding on the back of that, we've now just seen the operator.
I was going to say, what's really curious is actually it looks like FS going to continue to slow things down, hold a little more passively. But the operator noted off the rip here, very start of the round, so giving Loud the information. Not necessarily an advantage just yet. And Autumn can TP elsewhere. He's going to post up here, maybe show presence with the operator, potentially catch timing ahead of a rotation, but no, his TP's just expired.
Time to jump.
I have to go for this because there is pressure coming up towards Tube. I don't know if that Alderon actually managed to spot out the players, but Autumn's digging quite deep here, and he's found his reward. That's 2 he's dropped and the spike found. So this should spur on the attention towards Tube, but Ayang is on the case. Got to be careful though. 2 players, and it's crisp from Sadak. Life does well to find less. That removes the middle threat, but still there is pressure points to this. You can see the gap being closed, but another spot for Autumn and another body to add to the list. Cowanzine trying to drift in, but Autumn's exceptional at what he's doing. An absolute monster this round, and in this half.
I mean, that's just so tough to watch. There's 2 members allowed tucked into main here, and Autumn's allowed to swing all the way. Dry, by the way. Barely saw anything from 2Es. No utility to set things in motion. Finds 3 on the round with the operator. Pretty pleased with himself.
Should be. And the adjustment, again, what I love about this is the variety we're seeing. Very hard to get a beat on. Now you got life with the operator instead. Another little switch here. So if Loud thought they had a plan before, now it could be adjusted, expectations being diverted. And there isn't bodies behind this. Uh-oh.
Despite not committed just yet, I mean, it's life, the last one you want to be trying to pin down with the Hunter's Fury. Nothing comes through it. Sadak's in deep here.
Yeah, but it's just Sadak. There's no one with him. They're trying to maybe find the rest of them. He's put his life on the line for this, but he's getting nothing for it. It's just Sadak so far, and individually, he's not going to be able to outdo 4 of them. They've drawn on the rotations. The spike's still in spawn. Where's the value? Is it trying to bait out this B play? Once they get the spike, they're sure.
I mean, yeah, Les has got a very deep position, but they haven't caught anybody in rotation, so QCK nearly rewarded for his patience, but now noted.
There goes that position. He has to fall off it. This plays in, I guess, 2Es, but they need that spike down and safely. I doubt Lysol's going to play ahead, so that should be fine. My mind goes to 2Es here.
Yeah, he's in a lethal position.
4
to
big
play
hits.
spoiler here. He's going to hear all of these rotated.
That's at least 2 players.
You can see the pings coming through now.
Yep. When's his time?
Some awareness. A couple of members of FPX actually looking back here.
They've slipped ahead pretty well. Berlin is having... Oh, Berlin breaks 2Es in half. That was the plan. This is the fallback, and it's worked well enough to take down Life. Autumn, though, with his presence unknown, going to find the frag towards Cowanzine. And QCK, nice attempt, but not good enough. Less left in a 1v3, and FPX looking like the real deal here. Less with a spray, but look at them facing him down. FPX with the lead coming into the half.
Didn't even note it there, but the divide creating a pocket for Autumn to get behind. Loud, beautifully constructed retake here. Heartbreaking for 2Es. It's just unreal from Berlin.
This is what I wanted out of map 2, a closer affair, a better game. FPX showing us a lot more caliber here. Loud, no way out of it with 5 rounds to their name, but this is the perfect opportunity to check in with FPX. was a bold statement there.
Yeah, I can't believe he said that.
I know.
Caught in 4K.
I hope someone clipped it.
Yeah. Very, very interesting insight there.
It was.
We should stop playing with it now.
Yeah, I know. It's all good. There was nothing played. Don't worry.
Of course, things don't work when we're here.
Look, we got to bring a little curse to it. Otherwise, you know.
It's been a while since we were at a halftime. Actually, I feel a bit
Oh,
lost.
yeah, I'd say, like, what do you want to talk about? You're the analyst. Have fun.
I was hoping to get someone from the interview there.
That's unlucky, isn't
I mean,
it?
I'll come back to the same point. Obviously,
Go for it.
after the first map and it being very, very one-sided, now with this performance on defense, you really got to dial in. Life can be the deciding factor here for FPX to force a map 3. I mean, sorry, I was going to say less. Loud looking a little quiet in areas, but I guess looking a bit more coordinated than what we saw versus Gen G. Gen G felt very, very individual, and like I said, it felt almost at times like a deathmatch lobby. People were running around, just winning gunfights. Which again on Breeze, you know,
it's Breeze.
Odds are you're gonna win out a few series that way, but doesn't really seem to be the approach from Loud. So I'm curious to see how they apply this composition to the defense. Obviously, Autumn's going to be the slippery one, the one they need to pin down here and keep in check early on.
I can't wait to see it. Couple seconds to go now. Was this flash in the pan a death rattle from FPX, or was there truly some life to them here? I want to see it. I think this first half has got me excited. Loud having to scramble for some answers, which again leaves you wondering, what does this second half look like? An early work from Life. He's straight up middle.
Yeah.
And doesn't get spotted. Going to be checked on and outdone. Cowan team with the first. Going to draw blood here. But Loud, at least one man up to the good.
Despite not committed just yet by FPX, so really relying on Life and Autumn to be the ones to find an opener, but he's got himself into a strange position. Completely.
Anjir, ketiduran gua.
Almost behind this mid push.
Om Jin, Acu kan upload story foto Acu sendiri, pada kaget, kenapa tuh? Anjing turu cok, jer ngorok ya dia. Lo turu Om Jin. Anjing kaget bangun segitu ya. Gak tau gue bangun kenapa ya.
Players on side for Loud just need to run the clock down. The Lysol down to 1 HP yet. Berlin still.
Alah, PX menang lagi.
Did get tagged by the spike out. Lucky not to die to the wallbang. Now the problem is QCK. Look at the position he's in.
Yeah, I think Berlin knows his chances are fading here. There was a little bit of a moment in middle where maybe they could have done a bit more, but with 10 seconds, players left, right, and center. Les holds the ground well. And again, this will be a bit of a reminder. Some of these players, I'd say, are very.
Lihat aja replaynya ntar. Iya lagi, ntar lah gue lihat replaynya.
Kind of stoic members that can be rocks of the team. And this could be one for Les here, already towards the top of the.
Ah serius? Gue kemasukan lalat.
Autumn had a real opportunity. He gave them a solid start here.
Two follow-ups after Life did fall. Unfortunate. Cowan Zine on the other side of that with the sheriff of his own. Get the pistol on the board.
Still
second
smiling.
half.
This is, well, they're here. Help. It isn't just Les, but he's got to be a little careful because there is that kind of gap close on Autumn, right? That could be an issue. Same with Life to an extent. And yeah, they found him. So quite the audacious attempt. Yeah, how has he gone here so quick? Hello. Oh, that looked on. That one is. Second time of asking. And Loud looking composed. Not.
Kayaknya gue keselak dah.
That's not the end of the world. They'll be able to get themselves.
Kenapa kemasukan lalat? Kasian kan ada lalat. Percaya aja lagi gue. Sialan Clay.
QCK looking a little rough around the edges. The first half. Hoping for him to pick things up in the second here. Have his hands full whether or not he's really going to be the one to take the fight towards Ultimate Life or try and slow things down with an operator. Oh, there's your answer. Here.
It's almost like you're talking about sometimes, Mike.
I mean, I don't know if I was going to see it round 3, but
it's very early to go for this.
Yeah.
It's a hefty investment. And this is where I want to see if it works against Autumn and Life, who aren't afraid to get in your face. They might take a challenge on it. I want to see what the reaction is once they know this has come out. Oh, what a big investment here. FPX with 2 players at least heading this way for now. QCK only 4 kills. He's not had the impact he'd want here, and he can feel the pressure starting to mount. Life gonna cop a fair crack of damage, as does Autumn at this point, so both of them suffering. Good start for Loud. You'd be happy with that, and obviously for FPX, that's gonna take the wind out of your sails.
Lala tuh ada.
Definitely gonna make an explosive execute feel.
Lala tuh ada gua masuk anjing bangun dia. Serius anjing nggak ada tadi di video gua replay.
He's trying to ignore the one and look for the others, but the TP's been taken. QCK's in a little bit of trouble here, opting for the third rather than the first or the second. He's really banking on Kalanzine, but he was surrounded by the end of it. Even with low speed, Light's still able to do enough damage, but they haven't got that spike.
Pesan gua nggak nganga dah. Nggak
So
mangap.
even though they have the site, they have no ability to do, and Lysol going down is devastating. That and there's this around, right? Like, what can Berlin do about this?
He's lost in the lurk. Just not enough progress made early on here. Spike not committed. I mean, I guess this was a long con for FPX to try and make something work, pull a rotation and play in either Lysol or Berlin. But it just doesn't happen now. Too decisive on the site. He's going to try and hold on to this rifle here.
10 seconds
But actually,
left.
Tui's might catch him on the retreat.
Oh, I don't know. I don't think Berlin saw it. They're really clean. Okay, hit a shot like
Berlin
that.
just has Tui's number, man. Like,
Apparently.
it's just the awareness towards him. Absolutely unreal.
My people, are you ready?
Operator obviously retained, carried across here. Loud kicking things off with 3 unanswered. With a team flash catching there. Not sure how effective that was on the other side, but yeah, fairly indicative to see the spike not committed there. So kind of giving away the plan for FPX of what they want to try to achieve with those sorts of rounds. Maybe because Life and Autumn were tagged up and they wanted to try and formulate some sort of fake and, like I said, catch somebody in rotation, but seems a little disjointed.
Well, this is the first time we get to see this A take. Now, it's really kind of top-loaded, right? Life's the only one with the rifle. Everyone else on Sheriff's. Little bit of kit to play with, but not as much as I'm sure you'd normally want. Now, they do have site control. Louder respected them enough. They've given up site, and they've given up their first life as well. QCK going down is a big loss here because Life can continue forward. Now, it's not a recovered rifle. It can't fall into the hand, but he needs to be such an influence so they can buy time.
Snake Blast landed, but no combination here for the Kalanzine Shock Dart, so they won't get a kill off this.
Life's got to be proactive. He's got to be in this one. Oh, he's gone down. That rifle's just a step too far away. I don't know if they can get it back into hand. Autumn needs to get into the action now. Also tagged up. This is a problem. He's still going to make some value out of this. 2 left now.
Berlin from mid.
Where the hell did Berlin just come from? Oh, it's just Autumn left alive now in a 1v2. Maybe a chance, Tui's. Takes a lot of damage. They made something out of that. But the defuse going to be coming in and Loud weather the storm.
Causing some real issues on the way in though. You see how much respect Loud are giving to FPX.
Yes.
Almost to their own detriment, to be honest with you. FPX capitalizing. Berlin unconsidered. He saw the 2s this time. On the way back in.
Full purchase this time for FPX.
Yeah, a crucial buy round.
Do they go back for that A take? They kind of got a test of it last time. Do they feel as though they maybe found something?
Stacked up and actually holding on to the spike here, so it might be a pacey hit.
Ult with Autumn as well. This could be huge. This could be really, really valuable for them.
Look at the fake here with the TP being sent away.
That's going to be, I'd imagine, quite a few of them, yeah. 2, 3 potentially. You can see the reaction almost instantly from Loud towards middle. Starting to close that gap. You're going to have QCK on the way. The ult is going to come in, and already it's a site being evacuated. They're already sitting a lot deeper. FPX will get themselves a plant. They are so close by here. Autumn, got to be careful about this one. TP, when he goes back, look who's waiting. Whoa, he got QCK!
I was watching that on the mini-map. So unfortunate for QCK. Now Autumn left on the long flank here. Loud can get anything done on site.
You're going to have the lineups coming in as well. Lysor just invested that, so that's going to be a time buy-up. He's counting. He's going to get half on the... And the pop flash is really good. SATA just goes in, takes away life and wants to remove Lysor, but he can't quite do it. And now you can see that backfall. Lysor is just going to get his body on the line here. Because they're going back to the defuse. Oh, well handled. Berlin closes that down.
Crucial recon sent through at the right time. Heartbreaking for QCK. You see the TP sent all the way down to the beach. Auto running down the clock with his ultimate. Try and maximize that information. Here, Loud almost get ahead of the curve here in terms of getting the half defuse, creating enough pressure on site. Pop flash is beautiful on the way back in from Sadak. Unfortunately, he doesn't kind of stick to his guns there and hold on to that space, but tough to do nonetheless.
Different approach this time from FPX, eyeing up middle. I want to see QCK activate, if I'm honest. He does need to start picking up the performance here. Sadak with a army on the other side. This is going to be everything. The timing is going to be on the wire. Perfect play from Sadak. Meets life on the challenge, follows up with the nade on Autumn. And he has just broken FPX's back this round. Berlin, that late positioning he's been kind of known for, isn't going to be a surprise now. He has to play this forward. Not going to be able to do it. Niang. Nice connection on towards one, and the follow-up, hold on. Oh, okay, there we go. Easy now.
We'll find it through the smoke. Yeah, Sadak's absolutely breaking the ankles of FPX on the way in through mid-split.
Leading by example in that one.
Healthy ultimate bank. Everything except the blade storms here. I love this as well. Dips his toes inside the smoke. Fantastic stuff here. We'll be allowed to call a timeout. Actually, no, sorry, my mistake. Did just change. It's got debated.
Not your mistake.
I promise it wasn't.
It did say Loud. Maybe they both called timeouts.
They could have both.
You never know. It's a mystery.
We'll start with the FPX timeout.
Talk to me. Talk to me about what the game plan is here, because Loud have, even in, let's say, I wouldn't say the ideal way, because I would have liked, I don't want to harp on about it, but I would have liked to see QCK a little bit more involved. He has been somewhat absent this game. Ultimate Life have had his number.
But yeah, I mean, he's got his hands full on the front line, right? So previously, a concern coming out of the KC series was FPX's inability to convert First Bloods into round wins. They were winning out on the opening duels, but things were kind of slipping through their fingers elsewhere, and I feel like that's kind of the same here. Maybe not being statistically as good with the opening engagements, but FPX are definitely causing enough of a ruckus to make Loud sweat.
Yes.
Now they're forced back into recovery mode in some of these, and unfortunately I think QCK is the victim of that sort of play style.
FPX, you've had one round in this half. Your first half, we were back on board. Need to show a little something now. Timeout for the check-in. Still got life on the ult. They still have a purchase around it. So this is a goer. This should be a big round. But early exploration from QCK. Counting this time with the operator. And it is going to be the speed piece. Last time, they evacuated the site. Dipped away early. This time, sticking around. Life on the way, though. Can he close that gap? Can he find a target? Find someone to play towards. Autumn's right by his side. And Autumn's already claimed one. They could do with a little bit more. Less still lingering around. And Autumn just bringing absolute fury to this site. Less left walking away. Wounded. 5 bullets to play with. And he thinks it's enough. And it is! Autumn is audacious in his work. And he's got them the site. But the flank, QCK finally makes it here. Have you got a 1v2 in you? Have you got the ability to do something about this? Oh, he was on for it. But Autumn just that bit better. Keeping FPX in touching distance of that scoreline.
Not going to suffer financially coming out. I think 2, maybe 3 purchases available. Still got the Blade Storm, so an opportunity to force back in here. With an ult command, almost perfect at shutting down, I guess, the second leg of this execute. Once Autumn TP's in, the Astra smokes come up and create a couple of pockets for FPX to work out of. Nonetheless, FPX find their 9th. Gonna switch things up, back over towards A once again. Same setup, same TP for Autumn, so expecting him purely dedicated towards information gathering. Pick that up, no one saw.
Oh dear.
PCle over the top, found life.
And Sadak with a ghost just got iron. What has just happened here?
Well, Hunter's Fury here as well, yeah. They can clear out a lot of A.
Yeah, Lysor has to play much closer, not the lineups he'd probably be wanting to go for. They have to play right next to them. Lysor is panicking surely in this one. He's got an army against him. Bodies on bodies here. QCK trying to play ahead, gets a little bit of a glimpse, but it's Autumn you got to be worried about. He makes his appearance known. Oh, and that's just perfect again. From 4 kills to 3 kills in this round. Autumn is just out of this world. What a player.
Elimination on the line, and he's stepping up to the plate. 25 and 15 right now. Keeping the hopes alive for FPX.
I was gonna say, Mike, you know, that last round, call it a good round, but also gotta know Autumn got 4 kills there. And I said, well, surely you can't do it again in my head. I was thinking, well, can you depend on that? Apparently you can. This adjust through middle was just really rather God-sent.
All things tied up now. Operator in play for QCK. He's going walkabouts.
He's committed
He's
on this
drifted
one.
so deep out of here.
Lord. And
Dash is expired. He's punished.
He's desperate to make up for it. You can feel it.
Yeah.
He's trying so hard, almost too hard, to try and be the difference maker, to pick up the scoreline that's just not sitting well with him. And he's been punished thoroughly on that.
A little ambitious. Cow and Zine. Looks like off exploring here. Might hear this. We'll definitely hear Lysor invest the wall. Always an awkward angle though. Loud. A little ahead of themselves.
And a misread.
Here.
They're responding to what they're
FPX
seeing.
have sold this, yeah.
Yeah, they've seen utility, they've seen players, and they've got life on the site. FPX.
Now they lose the camera as well. That would have confirmed that this was a fake.
Loud have fallen for this hook, line and sinker, and Life looking to be the Reaper on the site, but he can't quite close out Tui's. Nor could he find Sadak in time, but by now the round, just your heart almost drops when you hear that spike going down and you are on the other side of the map. Can they at least recover the operator? Is it even worth it to keep into hand? I mean, it's not been going well for them. Opting for it here. FPX gonna be taking the lead now. Really activating, yes, individually in a couple of these, but now we're seeing this kind of, I'd say, across the board effect here.
Unfortunately. Have to consider things in the next round as well. You look at the funds available.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, there will be a rifle and the operator to carry across, but it's the FPX finding 11, potentially 12 off of the back of this round 21 victory. On the brink of guaranteeing a third. Yeah, you see it looks even worse from Lysor's perspective, just how deep QCK is looking to dig for that opener. I think you're right, it almost feels desperate. Trying to put something up on the board.
It's time to check in for Loud. That's 3 in a row for FPX. They found the solution. They found something that's been working for them. It was a little bit of a drought for those first 4, but again, hey, call it a pistol, call it what you want, the kind of knock-on effect, but it was what it was. Brought the scoreline right back. But Loud need their own answers now. Looking outplayed here, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I mean, a standout performance from Autumn. Loud unable to really pin him down in certain situations now has allowed FPX to find a way back in to this half after I've got to say, a very impressive first half overall for FPX.
Hands down, this is a rude awakening for Loud, and a much better performance from FPX. The first map, it almost feels like a lifetime ago now, right? You can put it where it is.
Yeah, this is the point of the series now where you can say, yeah, map 1's out of the mental. It's not a consideration anymore.
10 to 11 is still close enough, right? It's the issue of money. This looks like it could be 12 unless QCK and Tui's can find some big value here. And they're going back to this A piece. That's where Les is, that's where Sadak is with a Sheriff and a Ghost.
Struggled as well. You know, obviously the previous 2 rounds, FPX did find success on the back of Autumn's ultimate, not available here, but FPX fancying their chances nonetheless. Awkward tripwires here. Drone might not even spot these.
See if they get some value off it. Sadak looking for it. He's been tagged up though. Berlin going to get towards site. That's going to be the plan coming through. Is anyone going to try and deny this? Anyone going to put their life on the line for it? Looks like they're trying to. Sadak on the gap close. Gets towards Berlin and gets out of there with his life. Tui's finding Autumn. Hold on. Loud, where the hell's this coming from? Light from up above though. Going to remove Kalanzine from this. You still have QCK. You still have Tui's with the weapons. And Loud still have side control. They're creeping back closer. Counterpit going to come in, but there's still a gap to be filled here. Lysa is still a problem, as is Life. And now Tui's and less. What can you do? Desperate to try and do it for
24
time.
HP.
They've got to play the time as well. Trying to draw out the last bit of kit. The drop of the pit. And now Ayang down to 1 HP. Could this be the clutch of his life? Not going to happen. Less. Keeping Loud alive. The defuse. Far too close, but it's there. Tied all even, 11 apiece.
What a crazy exchange.
Luminate.
So nobody in a position to really punish off the back of these trips that are placed. Not sure if both were activated. One definitely by Autumn.
Man, Less and Sadak making that side look full health with a pistol.
Well, the first kill. The second, absolute madness from him. The response is there.
In a round like that with that buy? And it wasn't even the operator or really the rifle.
Absolute lifeline for Loud.
That was heaven sent. And a total switch up here. Less now far more committed towards his A side. Does that then?
Looking to put him into the line of fire.
Play him in.
Yeah. QCK holding down a ton of space here, but gonna have his hands full. A very, very strange investment of the drone here towards bottom mid.
They must be paranoid about something. Maybe, come on QCK, this is your moment to shine. They're gonna be close here. He's not looking as confident now, trying to sit.
He's relaying this information now that something's happening.
Because look at the rest of the team. Look at where Kalanzine is. They're so far back. QCK has to find. Oh God, QCK. Honestly, he's lucky to be breathing. He's lucky to be alive. Because FPS will have that B site. They've got the divide up. They've got life on the site itself. Oh, this is on a knife's edge, Mike.
It really is. Autumn actually almost TPing ahead of the wall there. Ahead of the divide, sorry. Will be a full 5v5 in the post plant. QCK still looking for something towards elbow.
That 12th round being the prize possession here. Pop flash being held. Anyone gets contact. Berlin going looking. It's QCK on the other side. And it's just nightmare after nightmare until then. An answer found over by Pillar. Sadak on the site with a tap on the spike. He's down low, but he's still going to find value for the trade. Tui's still good for it. Man to the advantage. Autumn falls. It's on Lysor in a 1v3. He's got one. He needs two more. But up above, brutal angle to break and less. Pushing Loud to 12. I haven't seen Loud have to dig this deep in a while, but they've just about got to the 12th round.
Able to steady the ship. Find themselves now on map and series point, Lauren, by the skin of their teeth. Beautiful retake, though, to pull off. It's, like I said, a full 5v5 here, with the amount of utility that's available on the B site. That wall paying off, though. Sadak able to create a little bit of paranoia with that first spike tap, draw a couple of people from FPX out.
Yeah. Oh, man, this is so tense. There's still a buy here, it's just not a great purchase. What can they do? Life has his ult, and he's looking for that opportunity in middle. Can he close down on QCK potentially? Not this time! Connection found, and a man up. They're looking like they want to explore that B site though. Already seeing a bit of a drift away from Tui's. Playing very safe here, willing to give up the site, respecting what Autumn's been bringing. He's too much of a threat. This time playing with the pack, not playing ahead. They've got, oh, there we go. Now's the time to start coming alive here. QCK with the finest of angles to find a shot, and I think he wants a bit more. Why not let him? Maybe he played in off this. Ayang gives away his position. And it's precarious now. They need a plant, Mike.
We'll get it here, but timing a little awkward. No command invested here, Loud. No secrets about this on the way back through. SATA just stomping onto site.
But a 1-for-1 trade, the numbers so favorable towards Loud. Guaranteeing closing in, it's all on Autumn. This guy has been a rock star for this side, but a brutal position, a brutal round to potentially go home on. Has he got the heroics in him? He's got so many targets, so many threats. He can't do it. It's done. FPX will be going home and Loud live to fight another day.
There are no strangers here to Elimination Series.
Yep.
The resilience on display from Loud once again. Heartbreak for FPX. Incredible performance from Autumn and Life today. Definitely some positives to take away. Look at between Autumn and Life, 11 first bloods, really leading the charge.
My main takeaway here in map 2 is, God, I want to see more of Autumn.
Yeah.
You know, what a talent. There, I mean, you're going toe-to-toe with Les, who's arguably one of the, the best out there, right? If you're going to talk about just kind of firepower alone. He almost gave him the opportunity in this. And FPX, got to say it, map 1, not good enough, but map 2, God, it makes you want to see more. It's heartbreaking that we only get such a small sample size of what this team could potentially do.
Absolutely, that elusive victory remains, but Loud will continue a little bit of a course correction from that opening series from Gen G, sure, but I gotta say it's still some concerns really here. QCK really struggling to get into that second map.
Yeah.
Being punished time and time again, and I think you noticed as well, it's key to note the desperation, it's that sort of that pressure, the scoreboard pressure, really dictating some of the plays being made. Obviously we don't know what's being said internally, but definitely a concern for me, Lauren.
No, and I'm with you in that, and I hope that's something, again, if you're an IGL, a coach, so you could look at that and you're going to instantly identify it, and now need to start identifying those issues if they want to make a deep run here. But they are still alive, they are still kicking, and we're heading back to the desk.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Great cast as always. And man, that was like, I totally agree with them. Autumn really was impressive. We say goodbye to FPX, unfortunately, but they fought their heart out there. Loud moves on in this competition, showing why they are a force to be reckoned with here on the international stage. But Mimi, I was very impressed by what I saw, specifically, like Lauren said, from Autumn.
Yeah, map number 1 was a struggle, but map 2
sure.
for this team, we saw a lot more. Both Life and Autumn as individuals. I think our names people will remember coming home from Madrid. And as well as that, I think they showed a lot more depth, really implementing that Eurocomp very well, in my opinion. I think this is really indicative of the fact that the Chinese region, the new league, it just kicked off, but these teams are continuing to grow and expand and getting better and better each event they attend.
Yeah, I mean, for Autumn, he was so involved in those early fights. My guy comes out of there with, what, 7 out of 9 opening duels going his way. Yeah. So important in so many of these clutch situations as well, buying the way back through. I've really enjoyed watching this guy play, but, well, we don't get to watch too much more of him. It's a little bit sad, but that's ultimately how these tournaments work, how the stakes work here.
But a lot to learn from for this squad now going home to apply to the regular season, to try and bring into, because the next time we have a chance to see them internationally would be at home in Shanghai, getting to represent China there. So definitely a great opportunity to improve and try and re-qualify for that event.
Yeah, that will be awesome to see whether or not they can make it there. And I think indications definitely point in that direction, wouldn't you say, Mitch, with EDG and FPX being so strong?
Yeah, I think so. Home field advantages as well. If we do end up getting there, you would be delighted to see this team be able to play with someone behind their back.
All right, folks. Well, with that being said, we have Dryad, who's standing by with Sadak for the Verizon post-match interview.
Y que se escuchen los fans de Loud. Let me hear the Loud fans in the back, as it is. There you go. It is Loud who takes the win. Es Loud los que toman la victoria en contra de FPX. Estoy aquí con Sadak. I'm here with Sadak for the post-match interview. Sadak, lo primero que te quiero preguntar es, tú has clasificado a más eventos internacionales que ningún otro jugador del mundo, de cualquier región que piensen, y en situaciones de eliminación como esta, ¿hay en algún momento en el que esa frase que ustedes siempre tienen de sin miedo a veces se haga más difícil, a veces sí salga el miedo?
Mira, creo que nuestro equipo, con más presión tiene, cuanto más las cosas están difíciles para nosotros, mejor performamos, ¿viste? Es mucho la cultura brasilera, queriendo o no, siempre que las cosas están difíciles continuamos para adelante, continuamos dando lo mejor de nosotros, así que esto solamente nos hace más fuertes.
Yeah, the question that I have for him is, he's made it to more international events than any other player in any other region, and so my question was, in situations like this one, is there a point where he does feel that fear that Loud always have that phrase of no fear? Is there a point where he feels a fear? And he says, in pressure situations like this one, this is when we are able to thrive and shine the most, and it is that Brazilian culture that shines and allows them to come out of situations like this one. Now, the second question that I'm going to ask Sadak is the changes to compositions that we've seen recently, and not only for Loud, we've seen a couple of things here and there, but also this is a tournament that's building up to be very explosive, very in the face, double duelist, Reina, your whatever it is. Is he expecting more of that, and are we expecting more of Loud to bring that? Sadak, por lo que estás viendo de las composiciones, que ustedes han tenido algunos cambios pequeños, de pronto algunos cambios de rol dentro del equipo, pero también el Euro, por ejemplo, que veíamos la primera partida, y en general todos los equipos jugando bastante explosivos, pensamos en Carmen Core, pensamos en Sentinels, en todos ellos que están en tu cara. ¿Crees que van a seguir trayendo esas sorpresas, ese factor explosivo, y ustedes también van a traer un poco de eso nuevo?
Y yo creo que a medida que la Master se va desarrollando, va a pasar mucho más antitáctico, entonces los equipos van a tener que quizás tener variaciones tácticas, ¿viste? Y jugar solamente apretando la W va a ser siempre un poco más difícil. Pero lo que hace estar acá entre los mejores 8 es eso, que ellos pueden tener muchas variedades, igual que nosotros, a veces jugamos más rápido, a veces más lento, y creo que, bueno, eso. Si les está funcionando ese juego explosivo, que continúen.
Ahí nos está contando, he's telling us that as the tournament goes on, you're going to see a lot more counter-striding coming through instead of what we're seeing at the beginning. It's something that has happened over and over again, but also mentions right at the end that if there's that explosive factor that is working for a couple of those teams, then they can keep running it. And my last question here is, how is he feeling for the teams that are left, and especially when it comes to a tournament that is so almost unforgiving, only 8 teams and only one that gets to make it till the end, as it is the crowd and the only Hispanic that we have here. ¿Cómo te sientes para lo que viene del torneo? Creo que le hemos preguntado a varios jugadores, varios equipos, y nos dan, incluso a los mejores nos dan como opiniones diferentes. Para ti, ¿cómo te sientes? Y especialmente con un torneo que no te da muchas segundas oportunidades, ¿no?
Y mira, yo me estoy sintiendo con mucha confianza, el equipo está con mucha confianza, sabemos que tenemos mucho talento, sabemos que estamos muy bien y vamos a dar nuestro máximo, ¿viste? Así que el que venga vamos a dar bala y que sea lo que Dios quiera.
I know Stadium, he's telling us that he's going to keep bringing what they've been bringing recently, and is just shooting in the faces, doing what it takes, and continuing to have this live performance that we've seen recently. This is all that I have for this interview. Once again, que se escuche para Sadak. Give it up for Sadak. We're going to a break, get ready for the second match of the day.
It's a classic David versus Goliath. FPX, they're facing off against some stacked talent in Loud. It's safe to say this is going to be a tall order for the Chinese team. But if there's anything that we've learned from this tournament, it's that this squad can do it.
One of these two teams will be going home. But now he has to go. He's got to take this challenge halfway. Not achieved. Autumn plays it well. Life's now pretty questioning what the hell's going on. No idea about Tui's, but a fantastic launch from him. And they don't know about Sadak until now. And what a horrible surprise it was. And he's just spraying and praying it works. This could be it. The downfall of FPX on this map. Bless looking to close, and he does. 13-5. It's clean work for Loud. They are looking very sharp here. Autumn and Life are very good, but they're going to need to do a lot more than that here. They're down to 15. Yeah, Lights are on a platter. They've got to know about Autumn, but he's still firing. Great work from Autumn, and I am there. That's much better. His position will be considered. He's been there more often than not. But Life bringing death against Loud. Let's do is what he got. Anything, he's going to take down only one, and that is nowhere near enough. So even though they have the site, they have no ability to do it. Lysol going down. Autumn, you got to be worried about. He makes his appearance known. Oh, and that's just perfect. perfect again. Has he got the heroics in him? He's got so many targets, so many threats. He can't do it. It's done. FPX will be going home and Loud live to fight another day.
welcome back to day 4 of Masters Madrid and our second elimination match of the day. It's going to be the hometown heroes of Team Heretics going up against Paper Rex. Of course, I'm the current man yelling at UGB, and I'm, of course, joined on the desk yet again by Mimi and Mitch. They're on the schedule, so we just decided to commit. So, guys, this is going to be a fun one because we have two teams, two very different trajectories as they have found themselves in this point. But what is really fascinating about this is, like, it's weird to be talking about PaperX in this context, given the year that they had last year. But even one player being removed from this team really has changed the complexion of it.
Yeah, PaperX right now really reminds me of where they were sitting at the beginning of last year when they were still finding themselves at the start of that Pacific season. But they're playing a bunch of different comps. Some of their maps look really good. The ideas look fleshed out. Others look like they're trying to slot Manette into a role that's not fully comfortable. And they've really lost a lot of the consistency that they had here as a result. And on the other hand, Mitch, Heretics has been, their stocks have been rising the whole year.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a roster that even has to play with a stand-in as well. Remember, due to age restrictions, this is somewhere, and they've had to play with a player online, regionally as well, which you could talk about advantages or disadvantages to that. The reality is, though, they've exceeded expectations. Young guns like Miniboo should be facing their shaky trial on the international stage, or at least even regionally, coming up against some big names, big teams, but they haven't stumbled the whole way through. They have just looked like a better and better squad as time goes on. That's kind of what I expect from a team with Benji Fishy. He's a guy that has his eyes on the long game, and it looks like they've already found success early on.
He's got that fish in it.
He has, sure, yeah.
He does.
That was a guttural laugh from me, I'm sorry. I was going to make a joke about the fishmen, but instead we're going to talk about the Boo Bros instead. I am glad you mentioned them here because I definitely feel like this one thing I love to see is, you know, brothers on the stage, you know, having each other's back, playing at the level that they're playing at. But Mini Boo has been outstanding. Boo has been unreal. Like, this team, like, these two brothers are killing it.
Yeah, the way they're comboing, and you're seeing a lot of examples here with different pieces of utility. The neon stun and so on has always been fun to watch. But this here, ult in the backside, on the back of an Astra wall, coming out of it. They had no idea what they were walking into on the other side for Sentinels. This was one of the more inventive plays that we saw out of these brothers, but they were doing this all tournament long. That's what some of the first clips were showing, the way that they were constantly looking to open up space together and combo their util.
It's a similarity to PaperX in the past, where I look at the strength of this team being the little set util plays they have, right? It's not a squad where you look at them and they're going to have a lot of, like, super hard sight hits where they're fully investing into something, but they have a lot of ideas in the mid-round for these little combinations that they execute on really well, and they're finding the timings to use that seemingly always perfectly, and it adds a lot of depth to their play.
Yeah, of course, we'll see whether or not this Heretics team can. This Heretics team can. Oh my God, I'm like stumbling on my words here. Heretics team, can they continue it? I'm sure they definitely can. But for now, though, I'm going to stop talking. Let's actually go ahead, though, and continue on this conversation here, because it does feel like, at the very least, you know, they need all the pieces of this team in order to click here, including the coaching staff. And you saw that happen in that last matchup, Mimi.
Yeah, you absolutely did. I mean, during that halftime interview, Nilzinho was talking about the fact that, hey, they came out here, they weren't playing confident enough the first map, they were letting Sentinels exec on them every round. He gives that feedback. They come back into map number 2, and they look so incredibly confident. They're executing perfectly. Mini Boo on the Neon is being so incredibly proactive. This is a team who's showing up on their, like, first LAN match for one of their players, for the first international event for the majority of these players. And after just one map, they looked comfortable against the team that I think most people are considering the forerunner right now in Madrid.
Definitely after the results that we've seen come through, right? Coming in, I would have brought my EMEA bias to have an argument about that. But the reality is, you know, I'm facing facts now. Starting to think maybe NA looks pretty strong. I mean, one of the better players we have in EMEA now is an NA player. I don't know.
Everything's upside down.
It is.
But you know what? Good Valorant. That's what's most important here. And I think what makes this really interesting is that it's a Heretics team that, you know, had a lot of changes that they needed to make going into this year. And not only did they do so, but they did so in a way that just brought all these different backgrounds together to really try and create this almost like an international super team, if you will. And it has been working out very well for Heretics. I'm excited to see what they do in this matchup.
Yeah, they have a lot of ideas around, like, global control as well, which is interesting considering some of their comps, like what they ran up against Sentinels had no Sentinels. They ended up getting flanked from extremities constantly in those matchups. But at the same time, then you look at their bind composition, where there's this constant harassment between Astra. This is another element that I was trying to find the clips, but you know, you don't want to pack the show too much. It's the fact that you have Astra stars go down, smokes bloom, and then the decoys or the gate crash faked out inside of it, where your opponents now have to be worried about their back because there could be a Yoru about to flash out an exec a play. And in fact, a lot of the time it's used just for those rotations to draw the players off site and allow the actual exec to be cleaner. I love a lot of the innovation that Heretics have brought to the table in that aspect.
Yeah, great ideas across the board. And I mean, of course, we can only expect some more great ideas as we get ready for this game. But for now, though, let's actually send it over to Mika as we jump ship to the other side to get a word with PaperX's coach, Alex.
Hey Alex, really important match coming up. A lot of people have noticed that there's less W coming from W Gaming. I was wondering if this is something that the team is still adjusting to, or is this like the start of a new style of PaperX?
Yeah, I mean, W Gaming is 2023, you know, so we gotta try and figure something out for this year.
All right, well, I'm eager to see what that is.
Not wanting to give away too much here. Completely understand that. PaperX playing it close to the chest.
They absolutely are. And yesterday in their game, we saw the anger from Coach Alex coming out. Because let's be honest, that game was a bit of a mess, especially on map number 3 from this PaperX squad. Yeah. They rock out with this composition with no Sentinel. They're leaving gaps. They're getting flanked. We're seeing so many of these mistakes that I think we've seen from PaperX before. This is really a team of highs and lows, and you can see how invested their coach is when they're struggling.
I mean, it's nice to see. You wouldn't like to see no passion up there, but at the same time,
his poor desk.
That poor desk it's getting its run for its money, that's for sure. The reality is, you can understand why this is a coach that's so invested in the success of this squad, considering the success that they've had in the past. But going through an identity change without Jing, we always knew this was going to be a thing. Nobody on Earth plays the game the way that Jing does, so you're going to have to find a new identity. And the question is, how long is it going to take? Because they don't have much wiggle room anymore.
Yeah, well, of course, listen, talk about Heretics real fast here as we get ready for this one. I think, you know, as the players start to make their way in, this is certainly going to be quite the challenge here for both squads. I really want to see if PaperX is going to just give us something just a little bit different coming into this one. They're going to need it.
Yeah, they absolutely will. But I think at this point, it's not going to be time to change comps, to change big ideas. It's going to have to be a lot more about the adaptation. And quite honestly, individual form on the day, I think we absolutely need to see more out of Munyet in this match. He's being put in positions where sometimes he is expected to play similar to a player like Jing. So we need more from PaperX.
All right, folks. Well, let's see how this all pans out as we get ready for this match to begin. It's going to be PaperX taking on Heretics. Let's go ahead and see where we're playing.
All right, welcome to Map Select presented by Omen for match 2 of the day. We'll go ahead and jump in. Heretics, you are higher seed, Team A or Team B?
Team B.
Team B, so PRX, you will be Team A. We will start with your first ban.
Breeze.
Breeze?
Yep.
Your ban?
Ban Ascent.
Ben what, sorry?
Ascent.
Ascent. And then map number 1 from PRX.
Sunset.
Sunset, side on Sunset.
Defense.
Defense. And map number 2 from Heretics.
Pick Lotus.
Lotus, side on Lotus.
Attack.
Attack. Next set of bans starting with PRX, you have Bind, Icebox, and Split.
Icebox.
Icebox. Your ban, you have Bind and Split.
Ban Bind.
Ban Bind. Map number 3 is going to be Split. PRX, side on Split.
Attack.
Attack. All right, good luck to you both.
Good luck.
No confiaron, pero
Heretics playing in front of the hometown crowd. It's going to be a difficult task for PaperX, but this team is no slouch when it comes to fighting in unfamiliar and some might say hostile territories. They had to do it against, an NA favorite crowd in EG when they played them in, years ago. What was it? Last year? A year ago, excuse me. And now here they are again, having to potentially take down, well, the Heretics here in Spain.
You got to think about Masters Copenhagen as well. Same sort of situation up against FPX. You're in a U, you're playing an EU team.
That's
and,
right.
And they were able to do a pretty good job of it. I think this is somewhere that this team is so experienced. I don't really expect nerves to play a big role, but I don't know. It depends how loud that crowd gets.
That's right.
Yeah, it absolutely can apply pressure to a team. I think for them, PaperX is still trying to find their identity this year. Since losing Jing, I feel like inarguably the most impressive player on that squad from last year. I mean, you have something too. It is actually arguable, but he was incredible. That's a big pair of shoes to fill for a guy like Monyet. But on the other side, it's all happiness for Team Heretics. They lost that match to Sentinels, and they've got to be beating themselves up over it a little bit, but they played them so damn close. They were counter-stratting them on some of these maps. They had excellent game plans. Their players were executing. It was Rian's first LAN match, and he was dominating.
In another world, this could very well just be Sentinels.
Yes,
honestly.
absolutely.
In another, you run that match
One or
back
two
multiple
rounds
times.
different.
Exactly, and I think that is what makes it so scary for this PaperX team, Mitch, to go up against a Heretics that is just gamed and ready to go because they got that confidence in them.
That's the thing, right? And from what we've seen, that confidence is only built series on series over this year. So there's a lot sitting opposite that stage that they're going to have to deal with in terms of shutting down players like Miniboo and his brother backing him up. Like, that utility combo is scary. And I didn't even add to it at the time. All of the other pieces of utility, we're probably going to save that for the post maps when we dive into it. But Rian's, he's been consistent on the Sova, but Patatek's flashes are out of this world. It's so good to see him back in a support role because he was born for that kind of play.
Let's talk about our maps. We're starting out on Sunset here. We've seen this already from both teams in Madrid. For Team Heretics, they looked really good, honestly, playing this Neon comp, stalling out with those stuns, and they're gonna obviously go back to that one. But I want to focus a little bit here on PaperX, because this is pretty much the only map this team will ever play no duelists. They're playing something on Gecko, and that's what I'm looking at. On defense, they had him opping a lot, they had him picking up a side anchor role, and it really felt like to me they weren't getting the maximum utilization out of his utility.
He was out of the fight so many
There's
times.
so many rounds where PaperX was fighting forward, didn't have that Gecko flash because he was opping, because he was changing something up. But they did end up winning that map, and it was off of a really impressive attack side, which they're starting on now. However, Team Heretics has tape, they've had time, and I think this comp is preppable, especially with the trips and the stun that can really punish a no-dive comp.
And we've talked a little bit about Neil Zinho, but I think Weber deserves a lot of credit for what we should see coming into this server. That guy has had time to look at those VODs, and that is really where things get scary, like Mimi said. Guy's a big brain player. He played on the server, and he's going to help them play today.
Yeah, well, we'll see, of course, how this works out as we have a Heretic squad that really wants to put on a show for their hometown crowd. Can PaperX silence them, though? Let's send it over to your casters. Give a warm welcome to Brent and Sideshow.
Thank you very much, guys. Yeah, let's get to it. A bit of a barn burner for our opening map here. Sunset, the best map, arguably, for both of these teams, Heretics and PaperX. And guess what? It's elimination time. This early on, you wouldn't think it if you look at these teams, but they're both 0 and 1. And honestly, expectations up in the air for this one, really. You might think that maybe Heretics might be favored, given the fact that they barely lost out to Sentinels. But we are fast off the rip into this pistol round. A very quick beginning, but slow and cautious by PaperX. Just well, no noise cues.
Yeah, they threw a knife over towards A at the beginning, so still 3 Heretics players committed to the A fight. Only the 2 of Benji and Rians holding over towards Market. So this is where we're going to see that Team Heretics retake. Their retakes have looked fantastic, but they haven't dealt with a Sage Wall yet, which is a really interesting kind of flavor to how you're going to play. The post tends to funnel people all in predictable directions.
Monyet second guessing himself there, where decided to send out the paranoia. What is the call to be made? Stand up. Monyet might be in a bit of trouble. Still, smoke up in his face. Wants to play the angle and timing around it with the util. Damage definitely done to a few of the players around the back, but the Heretics are still alive and kicking. Swarming now to sight. Smoke down and out. Benji sticking through. Half on the defuse, but he's the last one left. And a couple of shots. It's all it takes to seal the deal. Pistol round here for PaperX. Excuse me.
Pretty nice, fast-paced, got somebody in aggressive. You know, a lot of disruption there actually to the way that Team Heretics were trying to play the retake. The Sage Wall as well does not make things easy there. You're on the pistol round, you cannot afford to really spend the entirety of your ammunition breaking it. And especially if Devi's going to be able to get kills like that. That's two, just through that crack in the wall.
Yeah.
Not even caught on the camera, but that's devastating actually for Heretics. That's the way that it ended up going. But we are going to see so many of those kind of rounds, I think, where PaperX group up on one side of the map, hit the site with all of their utility, and I think Team Heretics might find it a little difficult to pick the mid-round timings that we've seen them get against other squads.
Doubled up with the trips though, can't claim the kill, unfortunate for old Benji.
A very similar look to the round again.
That plan straight down now.
And this is even more unfair to Heretics though, isn't it, with the weaponry on the other side of things.
Yeah, bits and pieces of util. I mean, if PaperX decide to take the fight straight to them, which they have. Okay, throwing away your lives ever so slightly. I mean, 4 players still left standing. Any guns to reclaim?
Oh, well, not for Devi. He's still just got a pistol to try to span the spike.
Yeah, and now they're going to be playing it from this main position still. The wall smoked to at least carve their way through. They found it. Placement here. This is looking really precarious right now. PaperX in a world of hurt. They have to manage themselves and find these kills. One player left. It's Mindfreak. And here it is. Patatech half on a defuse. And time.
He's got it.
Might be just barely. It looks a bit rough. No, just about. Second to spare. Wonderful, wonderful eco round for Heretics.
Yeah, amazing. Once they got themselves up into the player advantage situation, that's where you saw the Heretics kind of system thrive. The stun from Miniboo and that swing from Riens could not have been better timed. Paranoia, Boo with the follow-up. This smoke that Boo lands as well, really lovely for making sure that the retakers only need to focus on one area at once. And the half that they got on the defuse, so crucial, so important. Now, take a look at PaperX buying back into this one.
Yeah.
They are not happy to just let this one go. They have got plants in both of these rounds and a fair amount of kills, so the money's not dreadful here.
Still that danger towards it. Flash forwards. Well, that Thrash is going to be setting this one up, so clears through into market. A couple of players backside. Detainment. Line there.
I don't think you can follow up on this.
No, surely not. I mean, he's being bodyguarded basically by 2 of his teammates, and Forsaken, not sure if that was just trying to follow it up. Patatech takes him out anyway. Holding at the ground, and still Miniboo left to contain. No gaps left into the play. Moniette will get the gun though.
And Moniette's position here is difficult to root out. The Sage Wall.
2 players not looking, twists and turns. They can't really find themselves an easy kill, but there it is. Okay, toppling. 2 left standing, make it just 1 again. Mindfreak. Close to the pillar. Damage definitely done to a few of them. Still how the shot's just landing. So investment getting punished here by PaperX.
And
down again.
I gotta say, I'm so impressed with Boo. The way that he runs these retakes and as the IGL, but also the way that he paths and he uses his utility. You saw his smoke being absolutely crucial in the previous retake. The Paranoia too. This time, as you can see, Riens and Paddy defending Benji. Miniboo comes around the back, and then Boo goes for the reflanking market too. That's his Paranoia you see there. Onto Moniette. Just making sure that all the gaps are solved, and they don't just have to run into Moniette over and over again. Finally, this is going to break the economy of PaperX. Struggle as they might to try to keep guns on board, Heretics are going to be able to stabilize perhaps just a little here, unless the Sheriffs can sing. And for the first time, we see PaperX going for more of a defaulty approach. Throwing that knife over towards A. Forsaken did that on the pistol as well, and it ended up in a B group up. It's fairly similar to what PaperX are going for again here.
Contacting, removing the first layer of the trip. Out in the open with a util, no punishment. Onto Forsaken. Now the group up towards B, but it seems like Heretics have got good awareness of it. Benji Fishy's holding it down just with the rifle. The spam damage, no punishment in sight though with a counterplay.
Another one of these rounds.
But they want to play aggressive. Look at this. Straight into market. Paranoia push forward. It's blinded. Flashed up. Round to the side. There's no real guns and no real danger towards that. Cheeky idea, nevertheless.
I mean, I think that was a team flash though, wasn't it? That was Forsaken's flash that came through and ended up blinding some of the PaperX players that were trying to push.
It's feeling a little bit improv-y towards the back of the site. Traded. Dart. Gliding his way straight to Divine and pointing directly to the target they were looking for.
And look at the confidence on the Heretics players. They're not scared to try to take these fights, especially when they can group up together. And I think that's such an important part of what's making Team Heretics flourish on the big stage. Remember that they played and qualified without dropping a map, but it was all with ping. They had to play online because Rians couldn't get there to play at kickoff in person. So this was their first time, for starters, playing on a stage this big, playing in front of a crowd like this, but also playing on the LAN servers and getting used to that. Does it seem to have made the slightest bit of difference? Nope.
Not at all.
No.
Wouldn't expect it.
There's a lot of talk about, you know, rookies and how they perform when it comes to the big stage like this. But to be honest, there is no clear-cut correlation. New players don't always crumble on the big stage. New players don't always dominate. But Heretics seems to have those kind of people that love to step up to the occasion. And this is yet another example of what I think is kind of the theme of Masters Madrid, which is the old guard taking on the new upcoming talent. And PaperX here representing that old guard. The old gods can fall. Team Heretics took down Na'Vi to be able to get to this point. They qualified over Fnatic, who are not here. They know that these gods can bleed.
Absolutely. Seen it firsthand for PaperX. It's been quite some time since they've really just kind of spiraled out of control at a tournament. I mean, Champs 2022 comes to mind. PaperX are no strangers to it. It's not like they've had dominance throughout their entire existence as an org, but based on the tail end of 2023, there are some relatively high expectations, I think, leveled against them.
Absolutely.
But for the players, maybe not so much. You know, they've spoken.
They said they were playing in a 6 out of 10
Yeah,
compared
6
to
out of
last
10
year.
is what they were rating themselves. And just kind of going into Madrid, I think, expecting to just have a bit of fun, which is the PaperX way of things, a bit of style.
Well, it seems like they're scrimming the BXX at the moment, Brett. That knife caught all 5 players.
But they know exactly it's a refight called. Panatech forwards. That flash is magnificent. The PaperX are the ones coming out on top.
And the res, too.
Skirmish, the res, yeah. Already a fast flank. As soon as the knife tagged onto 5, Boo is fast behind him. Will he get the punish? Wide round, it's traded.
1 for 1.
Yeah.
But that's not good enough. That just opens up the A side of the map. Can Riens read it? Can he cut somebody off? Because otherwise, this looks like a round all wrapped up already for PaperX. And this really begins because they expect PaperX to stop when they get 5-person knife. If you remove all of the abilities from your opponents, you expect them not to keep hitting the W button. And yet PaperX, nah.
They don't care.
Nah.
They do not care.
And that's why that flash timing doesn't quite work. Paddy's assuming that they'll have put a pause into their play here. Let's have a look at Riens and Benchy though and see if they can recover this.
What to do for them. Now, Mindfreak on the flank is actually a wild ways off. He's going to have to work his way up through mid here. There's one opener still. Something shuts that down to Benchy. Last one left, and it's the trade. So, PaperX to the second one.
That round, maybe a bit of a preview of things to come if PaperX can find a little more success. Because I think one of the biggest ways that PaperX are going to find win conditions in this is going to be by disrupting the timings that Heretics want to take.
It's all about the tempo.
Heretics have played against a lot of teams that play quite standard Valorant, where you can find good timings to re-clear, you expect them to slow down. The set plays that Heretics go for need a little bit of time and space to set up. And PaperX, are they going to give them that?
Unlikely most of the time. Well, Boo. TP close to tiles, he's holding a flash, but guess what? Mindfreak's already
off cam contact.
No, it's a smoke as well. He's holding the next layer of it. Mindfreak! Disgusting work, but Miniboo still active, still kicking. Into the fight, back out of there, using the wall, not quite. Catch him on the heels.
Another situation again, Brent, where the cam contact that you can see them pinging out right now doesn't anticipate somebody going for a wide swing. If that's just a shallow little jiggle to spot anybody in mid, the cam takes contact, paranoia can be used, and Team Heretics can crunch the mid players. But instead, they just swung out fully and took the fight.
Purely W gaming.
So these setups that Heretics are using, not really optimized for the pace and the aggression that PaperX are going to throw in.
We'll see how they adapt over the course of this series.
Spike planted.
2v3. Getting that info that everybody's playing towards main there with an Earl theft. Wall broken. One less thing to really worry about here. Still one hell of a task. rebounds. Levi's going to be forced out wide. Shots need to be landed here by Benji. Flash to set it up. Everybody evacuating. Magnificent once more. And everybody topples. Beautiful supportive utility by Padatech.
Incredible stuff from Heretics there. That's the thing, if you give them the space, if you give them the time, these setups look immaculate. I think you were talking about it when Sentinels played against Team Heretics, that it looked like the two best teams in the tournament playing, back when you were on the desk for that game. And I think when Heretics are allowed the space to set these things up, God, the nade into the back, the flash to clear, catches onto everybody, they read that the teleport's happening, they've already set up the cage, it just looks so good. And that's why I'm saying the win condition for PaperX is to find timings to disrupt those setups, to try to catch Paddy with the flash in his hand.
Weaponry is a little bit uneven. PaperX, again, grouped up as 5. Really not too much in terms of changing the game plans with an old man sent flying. Its way through, so not have to worry about our setup, but this is a fight towards the back of the side, actually. Something has been changed now. Smoke's dropped into the corner. Will they check it? Not quite. It's a half clearance. Benji is blinded. He does not care. 3 falling. Hunter's Fury clearing up the remnants. The pit's down, but really, it's just a matter of time. And Mindfreak, you can feel it. Despair settling. Red in the bones, tagged up by the drone, no chance.
Benji looks amazing, man. He just looks amazing. He was talking all this tournament about how he wanted to grind his way up through Valorant, didn't want to use his clout to hop onto a top team early. And he really did put in the work in Tier 2.
Oh, yeah.
Even when he joined this squad, people were not immediately saying, oh, the Heretics are going to be superb instantly. I did not expect them to be here in Madrid, but now that they are, what is this?
Yeah, just disgusting work.
Anticipating the timing of those players so perfectly to even catch something afterwards. Nuts. Absolutely nuts. The new era that players like that are ushering in.
2024 looking exciting for Valorant. Danger in this round with Mindfreak. He's managed to work his way in, just walking past us. Does Boo expect it? Believe he must have called it. No, his head's gone. Oh my. Mini Budo returns it with the stun, back round the side, using the wall. Feign like he's dipped out of the side, but still continues to play into this in a one and done angle, but there it is. Thrash. Connection, detained it. Mini Boo's there, so he needs to be protected. Padatech flashed up though, he has to back away into the smoke, and there's the kill. Secured, follow up. Sheriff is online. Monyet. Disgusting work, and everybody just being traded out.
Benji got a 3K in the previous round, but it wasn't as difficult as all of this. He has no great information about where PaperX are playing and has to break this wall, giving away exactly what angles he's going to be fighting on.
Not leaving this one to chance. Doubled up, high-low setup, crouch, but they don't know where he might be coming from. Peeking for the info. I was a believer.
That's unreal.
I was a believer for a second, yet it's barely scraped through for PaperX.
The metal box ends up being the MVP there for PaperX.
Oh my God.
As it took half of the bullet, headed straight for Divide. Nevertheless, an example of why PaperX's A exec can be so dangerous there. Heretics got kind of roped in, pulled in to trying to fight as one player at a time got put into bad situations. Miniboo gets caught, they try to bail him out, and then Rienz is tempted to swing through the smoke to try to bail the next layer out. And here we see the economy finally in a good enough spot. Something to pick up the attack side off.
Isn't that interesting? I mean, they do it a lot. Yeah, doesn't matter what role something's playing, they really do favor this, just trying to slow the rounds down and find those picks.
I think the slower you make these rounds, the more you open yourself up to Miniboo re-clearing areas with a flash.
Danger, yeah. The crosshair placement wasn't online, and as the reswing of Boo, it's punished almost immediately. Padatech is forwards in front of the util, in front of the slow.
But there was a ping, there was a beep from the Dizzy, so they know that there's someone around.
Yep, using a paranoia to clear. That's just pure timing based on that. As soon as the flash comes through, pixel angle for Rienz, not enough to clear the head off one of the bodies. Plant will go down without any problems.
Spike planted.
score. Doesn't look doable. At some point might be starting to think about the call to save this now, surely. Rians will even be allowed to exit. He makes a good go of it. Gotta respect it.
Yeah, the players are still looking sharp on Heretics. It's a good job that PaperX were able to swing so readily there to try to trade out. But it's the 2 picks they get at the start that really open things up. And that was a little unusual from Heretics. They did not read that the op was online here, I don't think. They went for a dry re-clear. No utility used. Usually, Heretics are the king of cooking up these on-the-fly set plays. They're going to take a timeout here. The coaching staff clearly not quite happy with what they saw in that round, and I bet it's something to do with the way that Minibu and the brothers just kind of walked into those angles at the start of the round.
Normally, I mean, listen, talking about something with this operator, I'm not a huge fan of it when I've been watching him play with it just prior. They really got punished hard, I think, in the EDG match where they just weren't showing presence. They weren't given the opportunity for pickoffs.
And Heretics themselves could play more passively, trying to play for retakes. I'm not sure that that would be the best strategy, though. PaperX have been known to mix in some of those contacting plays, especially in the rounds where they have the op online. And that you can get into some really uncomfortable spots when that's happening. Forsaken ready to go with another null command. So that could end up being quite important here. We've seen PaperX leaning B very heavily at the start of this half. And now swapping over to mostly doing A executes.
The option now of going pretty rapidly into B once more. That's what they did last time they had the ult. Despite all that prior conditioning, but I imagine speed probably not the name of the game. Something opping. Instead, set the sights towards mid. Flash play to set up early on so Minibu can get onto that minor side angle. Sets himself up nicely. They do show presence.
Yeah, and if something wanted to get set up with the operator over towards A, then that would make it a little more difficult for him. But instead, Device escorting something up mid. And these players that were falling away from A could have fallen prone to it. Instead, here comes the B split.
Hello.
Benji's util offline.
Two different directions. So, all being used to clear out through market on top of the wall. It's anticipated. It's nasty business. A nasty shot. Mosh in through the back. Just the slightest of gaps. Something's head's gone off, rolling off the shoulders here, through the back of the site. Once more paranoia, but no, doesn't expect the deeper angle. Minibu was playing so passively there, patiently, making sure he guards the available openings. Munyet forwards now, he knows he has to take risks. There's a slight gap, he's seen the cross. There's a lot more to do here, needs a bloody miracle. Holding, there's one. Can he get any more with 6 bullets left? Smoke fading, paranoia just in time. They're tracing and chasing down the fight. Mindfreak is there. Battle taken up close and personal. Headshots found, but still 11 HP. Munyet, he can't do it. They know he's low. All it takes is a few stray bullets.
A lot of danger in that round too, despite the fact that a couple were picked off over towards market. Great recovery though from Heretics. You could see the anticipation with the way the Divine pushed into market there. They were so ready for that swing on top of the Sage wall. Here it is from Rians again. As soon as the wall goes up, crosshair gets adjusted. And this, the Mosh is thrown to try to set up the Mosh, paranoia, and try to put pressure and fight really aggressive for Boba and stop Team Heretics going for that retake style. And instead, it just exposes something's head for a fraction of a moment. And that's enough for Heretics to get an even larger player advantage. That operator now in hands of the defending Sova.
Oh, okay.
So if you haven't got enough of your initiator op from something's attack side, have a look at this one from Rians.
Still the contact play style. I mean, this creates openings. Rians is only just getting onto the line though. Nade into the corner. That's to move some of those unbreakable trips.
Only gets rid of one.
All up once more. Rians doesn't get the pick. Eyes off the shot though. Man, fully revealed, spamming through, stopping off the plan, and the damage done with the Hunter's Fury. Has to be an escape from Meunier. He will TP just to the side to narrowly avoid it. But this has thrown a lot of chaos into the mix. Lovely shock dart. And it all really relies on Mindfreak. He's in mid right now. Someone's going to be watching him though. Mosh pit into the corner as Benji survives. Pushed out wide. Mindfreak adds something. They both get it with the res online. Suddenly, it's player advantage. It's flipped onto the other side of things. Heretics, we don't know which way to look towards right now because Mindfreak is deep within the spawn. They have to try and contain this one, plug the gaps. Avoiding setup, but he's big retake executes. Still 37 seconds. They've got the spike back, and they're running all the way over towards A. I mean, it is just pure mayhem in Madrid.
That one is bizarre. We're watching the fight as it happens in mid, and two players in backside went for a swing on defense and both fell at the exact same time the res went up. Now, from our perspective, I can't tell whether the res baited the swing out, and that was a really nice coordinated play, or whether Team Heretics just ended up trying to face that, and it offered an opportunity for Divide to get the res.
Maybe just facing with Benji getting pushed down by the mosh pit.
Yeah.
Having to protect him, you know, maybe just
super possible.
Stand the ground, see if they can survive by just taking the fight with more players. But it's left just Miniboot reeling in this one, has to save.
Yeah.
Forced back with the rifle. I mean, a really, really odd round. Just those strange diamonds being thrown into it.
And actually, Device Resurrect getting really large value the 2 times that it's been used. It's not often you say that about a Sage ult, actually. So, Heretics, the bonus for them is that they'll be given this round as like a little mini timeout. They can talk about what went wrong there, what they're looking to readjust for the final round. But PaperX have now crept up to 5. A reminder, this was the better half for them last time we saw it play. But I think this comp should have theoretical value. So yeah, they went for the res before the peaks happened. They were, as you said, Brent, just trying to get that punish onto the mosh being used in backside.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Mindfreak got the kill in mid.
So that's just a battle on multiple fronts. Here we are, final round now of this first half. Big ult online, Thrash for something. Will be opted to use this. In fact, Heretics want to take the paint straight to them. It's out with the paranoia, all offloaded.
And 3 players found.
Control, yeah, with that knife deep into the angle.
So PaperX are calling the fast reaction into A, which is where Benji's playing. With a kill trip and a vandal.
Yeah, kill trip and a vandal, but the Thrash surely clears the way here, spotting multitude of targets forwards into the smoke. Trips, he's waiting for it, the right time to strike, but Nade pushes him away. Plan is online, out in the open. Strange with a post-plan scenario, but plenty of using angles.
Here it is.
The same war being played. Now they should be aware of this yet. It still gets value with the flash setup. All online, and yet he's not cleared off this angle just yet. Still wants to play up top. Still wants to combine it all with the aggression. Divide through the back of the site. It's PaperX even it flawless for the final round here of our first half.
Love that setup too. They've got Divide even pushing a link at the same time, so they set up the highest of high-low setups. One player in the skybox while the other swings. Awesome setup to draw things level at the heart. As PaperX won 4 out of 5 of the last rounds.
Absolutely treated here. The best map of both of these teams, arguably. See them evenly matched. I mean, who knows what we got in store for the second half. Oh, they are loving it. They are loving it. Just here to have fun at the end of the day. Well, absolutely ridiculous so far. Still, on the floor, let's send it down to Mika. She's standing by with a special guest for an interview.
What's up, everyone? I'm here with a very, very special guest. We have Mixwell here, and we can hear the crowd roaring. This is electric, and how are you enjoying the match?
The match so far is insane. I think that PaperX is playing really well. It's the best maps of both teams. So I think the best of 3 is kind of decided in this game, and both teams are playing at their best, so I'm enjoying it a lot.
Yeah, well, on behalf of Pacific, Team Heretics is playing very, very well as well. You guys are making us sweat over in Asia. And speaking of which, EMEA and Pacific, we have very, very different styles, right? Which team would you rather play against? Something more structured or something more chaotic like PaperX?
I think playing against PaperX for the first time is maybe more scary, but after you see them playing once, I think Team Heretics has a more complete style. So I think I would rather play against PaperX than Heretics.
Yeah, I think the crowd agrees with you. And of course, Nilzinho is somebody that you have a very close relationship with. You know him for a while. What do you think he's thinking right now at this very moment?
I think he's calming the players because it's important to start strong on the second half. He's someone that reminds you what he has prepared for you before the match. And he's probably just saying, guys, keep playing like you're playing really well. Remember what we talked about before and just enjoy the moment because the crowd is cheering for you, something like that.
Speaking of the crowds, really quick, say something to our fans.
Chicos, tenemos que ganar este partido sea como sea y vosotros sois el 6º jugador, así que gritad como nunca, por favor. ¡Vamos!
All right, let's get back into the game.
Well, it's got a future, I think, in crowd work as well. I mean, this guy, he does.
Get him paired up with Zeken's mum.
Telling you, yeah. I mean, they know the right things to say. Me, I am an idiot. I only know the one language, so.
Well, as they say in Spain, vamos.
Yeah, perfectly executed.
Yep, gracias.
Never inviting us back to Spain. First round, pistol round for the second half. Let's see how it goes. It's fast off the rip with a flash play. Mini boo. Forwards up front, taking it to the fight straight. Two to many targets to face him, but guess what? His team's got his back. There were the follow-up. Finally, something now with a reposition. Doesn't really want his back open to that spot. Wingman being broken down.
Look how reluctant PaperX are to actually rotate fully over to A, and they've been rewarded for it. They find the lurk there. Team Heretics had a 3v1 on the A side for like the last 20 seconds, and they paused, allowing opportunities for PaperX to come back into this.
Oh, the space. Look at this, down into bottom section of mid, but they are fully grouped up. It's three players holding hands. They don't want to leave any mistakes open here.
Missed the timing.
The timing.
Does Mindfreak look left?
Does he look left? Yes, he does, and he spots a whole load of juicy targets once more. There's one falling. Boo. Down and out, but now they know it's B. Jig is up.
And these players, they are going to get crunched here. I mean, Mindfreak's going to be coming behind at the same time as pressure is applied through market. This is going to be so tough for Heretics.
He's got the dart. But seriously, man, this is just wide out into the open. Ghost moment certified there. Pissed around. Another one for PaperX.
They're going to be kicking themselves for that decision making after managing to find 2 picks at the beginning and setting themselves up with such an advantage, deciding to put that pause into the round. As soon as Benji gets picked off, you lose all info and control over the rest of the map. And PaperX, it is so unusual to see a team still playing 1-1-1 after Elbow's been destroyed. But yeah, ended up working perfectly for PaperX. Anticipation perhaps of that pause coming through. They were not scared.
That's all smiles, man. They really are just here to have a good time. Leveled their own expectations. Here's a deep knife. Forwards with the dizzy. I mean, where do you think the Heretics players are? But more than a good guess. Just holding, expecting maybe just that re-clearance, re-push.
When we saw PaperX playing up against EDG, when PaperX were on the defense side, outside of the pistol and the follow-up, they only won 2 of the rifle rounds.
Ooh!
So, even though these are absolutely plastered, it remains to be seen how they're going to get it done once rifles are on board. They did struggle. Even though they're 8-6 in the lead right now, you need to see it working in rounds where Team Heretics can fight back. There is only one player on the other side of things, still with light armor. That's Rians, as we head into the next round. So Forsaken's Outlaw is going to struggle to get a little bit of value.
Respect being showcased here. For Heretics, there's no spread default. A rapid take of B main control is what's called and ordered. The Bulldog, well, just all bark, no bite there. Loses out the dual mini. Boo, this guy!
Outrageous.
He's just ripping him to shreds.
That's so strong. I mean, aim punched as well by the Bulldog in the first fight.
Okay, well, weakened enough though. The Forsaken does get value with the Outlaw. Tagged up by it, mosh pit forwards. Still haven't got the plan down, by the way. Being pushed back. Trying to get difficult to get that time, but finally it goes through the window with the dizzy up over the top and no connections. Now to Paranoia and a flash underhanded. Does he clear it forward positions? No way are they going to start winning this one out shortly. Not Heretics doubled up. Close to the wall, Rians side by side, him and Benji Fishy, but in a position of being squeezed. How are they managing that?
They just win both the duels in that situation. PaperX have their pick of the timings. Monya and Something have done such an incredible job up until that point. Something managed to turn a double face into a 1v1, got the kill. Monya kills somebody, B-main. They can't close it out, even though they're coming from opposite sides, can pick their timings. Look at that kill, through the aim punch. Utilizing the flash to force his opponent into the corner, and then the recon to be able to get the illumination on his opponent. Good response, right when they needed it. Something has picked up the operator.
Onion's got walkabout, okay. Early kill onto Boo. Might throw things into a bit of disarray. There's a deep smoke. This was placed down early. I mean, Heretics, they've cooked this one up. They were picking it out just into the pre-round, but they've all got it contained. PaperX following through with it, and Mindfreak's there. They've just got it watched for. Top mid, Spike drop down. Rian's the last one left, and he's gone. In a blink of an eye, round finished.
Team Heretics are going to go for that mid play quite a lot, where they smoke the right side of mid and apply some pressure. Sometimes it's going to be fake, sometimes it's real. And PaperX there threatened like they were just going to walk through the smoke. And that actually pulled the crosshair away quickly enough for Miniboo. The PaperX were able to find really easy timings. Even if they hadn't taken down Boo at the beginning, like an absolute freebie, I think PaperX had a great protocol for what to do against that. And you can see the market pressure got dealt with instantly too. Just a wall in the face of the drone. And that is such a difference to the way that, for example, Sentinels would play this KO Gecko comp. Here's that same smoke again. Like I said, Heretics love this kind of setup. Smoke, instead of blooming in mid, just cuts off one side of it. Stops any crossfire setup. But it's not always going to be real pressure.
Deep pop angle as well. Something, getting all sorts of mid-round information. And yeah, it's the really one in danger. Yeah, here it is. I mean, the jiggle peek for information gets the head clean off.
Gotta be honest with you, I didn't even see Miniboo.
Forsaken now going to be tucking, cowering. Needs a bit of backup, and he's got it. In the form of Devi. Top round the guns. Set Miniboo up for success. Flash, repeat, and it is good. Damage there. And a kill, still it's traded. Hunter's Fury, negated.
Perfect.
Yeah, beautiful work there with the ult. Good timing from Forsaken as well, because he was tagged up. He was the one who was really in danger of going down. Here, tagged up by the cam, backing away, and it's a lot of chaos strewn into the mix. Player,
can Boo dodge it? Yeah. Does that make a difference? Does he perhaps call them back over towards A? It looks quite committed.
He's just spotted him, Benji Fishy out wide. Does he expect another play? Yes, he does, Mindfreak. Unrelenting from the spot. Will not give anything away. Boo. Earns the ult, but no time left, surely. 15 seconds left. Is he really going to make a go of this one? He's getting the move on. Listen, I know he's got the new knife set, but it doesn't actually make you move any faster. 9 seconds. He wants to go for it. 7 seconds. Shut down.
Predicted, dealt with. Little disappointing the way that Heretics were posted up in B main there, just one at a time, swinging forwards, instead of trying to get somebody posted with Benji. There are multiple angles there that need to be covered. This play, though, great idea from Forsaken. Really nice punish of that ultimate being used, but it's this moment I'm wondering about. Paddy is just kind of looking at the wall while Rians sets up a dart. I feel like he could have been double holding that. Nevertheless, PaperX are squeezing away, and I was setting expectations for this defense half based on what we saw when PaperX played against EDG. Right? And we saw that the defense half, actually, they weren't able to get those rounds on the board very easily. But here, it's looking great at dealing with what Heretics have. There's been clear improvement and awareness of the kind of things that Heretics want to do. That mid play in particular.
Have the right answers. Almost everything that's gone thrown their way.
And this is now the final timeout for the Heretics coaches to try to have some of their own input. And we're pretty far away from the finish line. It'd have to be another 6 rounds that Heretics get on the board. Twice as fast as PaperX. To be able to get the win here. And you heard it from Mixwell's mouth earlier on. He said the winner on Sunset is probably going to win the BO3. Now, I think Heretics still has win possibilities on Lotus and Split, but if Heretics end up getting stomped here, puts a very different flavor on the series for sure.
Really does. A team like PaperX stepping up at the right moments. Here it is, fast. Through with the paranoia. Through into elbow now with the dart. A couple of waves of that util, making sure all of it is clear, but it's given up entirely for the retake. PaperX, look at them, happy for it.
And this comp is really good at retaking too. You have a lot of utility to throw out. Between the Gecko, the KO, and the Paranoias, it can be overwhelming.
One-way smoke blocks off one yet, so he can't actually fight into that angle. Still, a chance for Devi. He's not smoked off at all. Miniboo, no way, drops down. Damage done, but still hits the head. Here, traded forwards, detained into the corner. Left cowering, Forsaken. Can't adjust the aim in time. It's good movement from Briens, but he will fall regardless. Man sent flying, cage in his face, something not to be deterred. The Molly to set that one up, out through elbow.
I think Boo just spotted the tip of the operator there.
Now it's been called, a bit of a pause, pump the brakes. Wait, it's out. Smoke online, Mind Freak.
I know exactly.
Guessing as the right timing, wants to take it with a neural theft. Forwards there. Danger with a mosh pit. Second burst and a neural theft as well, so the position is revealed. The shot fired off, something.
He's so fast.
He's hoping to take a rapid
elbow.
reposition, isn't he? Yeah.
He will have to slow down a little just to check these positions. And the longer he takes, the more Heretics should start to think about different angles. Here, Boo gets smoke over towards A-Link, allows Benji to hold.
He's holding the angle now. It all comes down to this one angle and one fight shot going wide. Repositions back together. Doubled up. There should be no danger in this round. Should be no danger at all. Should be no danger at all, he says still.
And look at something. He knows it's over. Scratching his head, forced to try to save and reposition. Perhaps even a little frustration. I don't know how, but he seems to expect himself to hit shots like that. But it's going to be Heretics getting it up to 8. Something escapes with the operator online. There were plenty of moments where that could have gone wrong. Another situation, actually, where Miniboo is still able to get the entry going. Despite the fact that he's been shot at by an opponent. He's like already so weak by the time he manages to land that kill on the VAR. Is that a little nod of respect for how good the entry was, or is he looking at somebody else's kills? Something looking to set up an early peak here, perhaps? Often there's going to be a cam with a paranoia to go off-cam info, but Benji's over towards B this time. Something backs off, didn't like the look of things early on. And Benji's got his cam actually inside Mind Freak's pit. Could end up being useful at some point.
Well, I'm going to be at least taking down all the kit here. Mosh pit held, ready for some sort of play to punish. Where does it land? Not a clue.
It's for an elbow retake. They're going to throw that in paranoia, I think, if Monyet can get this and get out.
Walks forwards. Not expecting to be up there.
Madness.
I mean, massive gap in the playbook, at least in terms of the timings that he was taking inside his head.
Yeah, the fact that there isn't a piece of utility for anybody that could be holding close there, I was really expecting the paranoia to be coming through, but he just ran it down.
There are large holes, and that knife gives good information. Minimum 2 players tagged up by it. Something's got the op. They walk onto this line. They could be in danger. Now Heretics do have util. Yeah, underhanded flash forwards. Ult sent flying. Still the shot will connect. Drops Padatek down to his knees. Repeating Forsaken. You are absolutely nuts for that. But he needs some help and he needs it fast. Another shot missed and going wide forwards with the rifles. Claiming the territory, claiming the ground. Slow orb. Rebounding. The options are so damn limited. Where the hell is this one going? He's out wide into the open. Rians peeking into it. Footsteps heard. Another shot missed. Res online here. Wall in their faces. Res now here. Towards the back of it with something going. Down a spray. Just can't be managed. Can't be wrangled. Forward in time. Mind Freak. 2v2. Turns it into it here. Still with the op. Sends him out. Wingman flying. Mind Freak falling. That was the only rifle player. But now the upgrade. Sigray picked up, something's here, still, it's a lot to handle, a lot to manage, doesn't know the positions. Miniboo's playing tucked to really the safety of the back of the side, so yeah, just got to give it up once more. Another round win here for Heretics.
And Boo and Miniboo, they'll give their lives for it over towards the end of the round, but both of them played that situation beautifully. It's their duels that end up making the difference. You'll see that Boo was the only player ready to stop them. Here, this duel. Had Devi got that, it's curtains. And Miniboo on the other side held down a really important push from Mind Freak. 2 straight up 1v1s, where Boo and Miniboo are holding angles, they get the duel win, and it pushes them across the line with the player advantage. None of the fancy set play stuff. Just guns out gaming. You know, maybe one day, Brad, we'll see Excura on this team as well, and we can have the Susanna brothers playing up against the Boo brothers, you know? Maybe. And Scream and Navera come back.
Yeah.
And we have a tag team.
Perfect world. I mean, as a Santo family, they run deep when it comes to playing video games.
They do.
I've seen the streams of his younger brother.
There is an older Boo brother as well.
Just get them all involved, man. Let's have a family reunion on the big stage.
Yeah, get Golden Boy to cast it like it's WWE.
He would love that.
Oh my God!
Absolutely, he's looking at me, he's nodding. He would love that.
Is that the Susano Brothers music? I mean, it would go crazy. But what a game we've got here. Both of these teams wrestling with each other, trying to figure out the ways to be able to get past different setups. That round, it felt like it should have been a bit of a gimme for Heretics because they were offered that pick at the very beginning, over through elbow, with Monyet just kind of running it down. As part of a set play, right? But it does make Monyet look a bit silly in the moment. And now the economy, not in a great spot for PaperX. Team Heretics favored to tie this one back up. Absolutely anybody's game on Sunset.
Deep flash. Just walking to set it up with the dart against the back of things. So nobody holding close towards B. Delayed knife. Good info. Surely gathered.
Yeah, and that I think is going to cancel the hit.
Everybody's pushed though from PaperX. Look at this.
I think Heretics think this is a B stack. I am not sure they're going to anticipate 3 players being pushed out A here. You know, when it's quiet on B, but you end up getting knifed, and there's a smoke in your face, you think, okay, they're going to start rotating here to stack the site, and it's only really Boo and Benji watching behind. They do have a trip. Things here should be somewhat safe, but they're stuck in B main right now. And the timing.
Push off the angle, finally noise being made. Nade going, flying forward, something. He wins his fight with the duels, at least with the rifles. It's traded out, falls, and another pause put into the play here with 45 seconds left. What do they choose to do? Forsaken, ADS. It's going to be a bit of a demon with it here. Flash forwards as well, no connection from it. They are really stuck in place, finding it difficult to get through any of their stuns now. Flying and rip forwards with the wall on top of it. The entire team decides it. We're going to take backside, we're going to take it now. Together, brute force is the goal. Gonna get that plant down now into the post. Even just stepping forwards into Boba. Divine didn't have a rifle in his hands, but at least Forsaken does still look for the wraparound. Players, plenty of them, ready for the targets here. Heads could pop and heads could come clean off. Still watching, and damage low enough. One shot in the chamber, but yay! Sends it! Holy! What is that? That's an unbelievable round!
PaperX had them scrambling. Team Heretics just heads on a swivel the entire time. A lack of decisiveness there, I think. A decision had to be made. Do we go and push into the players flanking us? Do we commit to site? All right, in the end, with 35 seconds left, they decided to go towards the site. But even then, once they got to Boba, they didn't commit forwards. They went back towards the site and allowed themselves to get tangled up again. I mean, you could just see how uncomfortable that was from the Heretics' point of view. And frustration in the camp. That was their opportunity to tie things up at 10 to 10. They had the economy punished for PaperX, and now it's them coming into the round with Sheriffs. Disaster.
They need something similar, aren't they?
And what a piece of PaperX magic, just when they needed it. Now, as much as the triple push out of A, despite all of the B presence, did work for them in the previous round, this time there's only Mindfreak home, and if Team Heretics step on the gas here, PaperX are going to have to play retake.
Really giving it up. Yeah, top mid, flash forwards with the rifles! Oh my goodness.
How is that happen?
Sheriff kills still, cleared out! He can't escape with the ult. Looking for it, 3 versus 3 though. There's still that danger there. Backside, again, cool made, walking up for now. Boot and Padatek, anything to set this up? No, Yuto, they just want to take it. Raw aim, raw gunfights. Rian's last one forwards. Presses the advantage, or at least he thought there was one there. It's Forsaken who shuts that down. So up to 12 now for PaperX.
Forsaken did everything he possibly could in that round just to get them up to that point. Had a flash for the first peak. His teammates fumbled it. He's there, the safety net, the backbone of the team. As he has been all tournament. I don't think he was the best player for this team during kickoff, but at Madrid, he's given us that classic Forsaken performance. So consistent and good for the multi-kills in all of these really big rounds. So up to that point, PaperX here, and looking like they want to start the round again with a stack on the A site. Team Heretics might be set up for a fast play themselves.
It's the coin flip here with a util sent flying, offloaded. Though, it's deep onto the angle, deep onto the line, another nade, don't know if it was a 10 of to that particular spot, but still he's there, fakes the TP, forwards of a slow orb. They have funneled them now. Team Heretics, they want nothing to do with this area. With a wall down, luckily, player remaining behind, just enough to break it.
And Team Heretics, they do that same smoke in mid, and they have options here. Do you try to put some pressure in mid? Do you try to put some pressure market? PaperX playing passively throughout middle of the map, but actually getting a lot of information on the extremities. B main, A main, held by Mindfreak and Divine.
On the precipice now. No casualties, of course, but when it slow down to this, anything could happen. Something, there's no way. Going for walking. Straight down towards it. Patatek's there, there's a trade. Mini-boo, fast on the response. Now forwards to the wall here with the drone. It just fades away and breaks. Forsaken is out wide. Just around the ankles, walking for the mid-round. Is Munyet out into mid, lost. Man's just in the source here. Divide forwards, looks to just reclaim some of that ground here. Maybe a kill might do it. Maybe it might, but still Team Heretics are too disciplined. Well drilled. They do not want to let it slip now.
4v1 for Heretics to be able to deny the first of the map points that PaperX have got. This round was so bizarre. PaperX really scrambled by the slower pace. Team Heretics didn't put anybody on the outer wings of the map, grouped up in mid, and just waited for PaperX to push for information. But what confuses me a little bit, Bren, is they already had good info over towards A main and B main. They knew that nobody was trying to actually take space in A main. You know, after the drone came through, one of them could have broken it, maybe set up some play to gain info afterwards, but they just went for a walk re-clear of mid twice. Once with something and then once with Munyet, I believe it was, afterwards. So that's a lovely lifeline for Team Heretics to grasp hold of. There are still 2 chances here for PaperX to be able to close out map 1.
Been hammering on about how important this initial map is. You know, Sunset, one of the best maps for both of these teams. Even Mixwell as well in that halftime interview talking about it. Whoever wins map 1, he reckons will win the entire series. That's just how important it is. You can feel the tensions are running high here. The new guard versus the old guard. Chances slipping away despite the early beginnings to the series.
Now Team Heretics have seen that PaperX have begun stacking the A site at the start of these rounds. So if this is a little faster towards B main, I wouldn't be surprised. But Mini-Boo's not there, so that entry power.
What's with the timing?
What's going on here?
Now broken. They want to try and fight this one forward. Seal.
They missed Benji.
They're weaving in and out the smokes. Yeah, this is just a confusing round all in all. Mini-Boo, he's through market. It's a wall through the window, man. He's already worked his way through it. Stuns up, connects. Might break. He's still stunned. Hunter's Fury, though. Connection wide here. Something back into it. It's chaos, man. Pure chaos. But can you expect anything less? PaperX, they thrive in it. Born in it, molded by it. Benji left to pick up the pieces and maybe forge something out of it, but it's a triple face. You do not stand, you fall against this team. Map 1 goes entirely their way.
In classic PaperX fashion, the final round. The thrash comes through, and I think goes to detain on both players trying to follow up on Mini-Boo. And those rounds, one team looks like they're in a disadvantage. A couple players in B main stuck inside the smokes, Mindfreak, Munyet, and yet their team bails them out.
An insane map 1, but plenty more to go. Do not go anywhere you know you're not going to miss it.
Excuse me, would you mind taking a picture of us?
Oh, no problem.
Thanks.
Yes, problem. You need Verizon. Trade in that old thing and get a new iPhone 15 Pro with tons of storage, so you can take all the pics. So many selfies.
A preposterous amount of panos!
That means panoramic. And as many portraits of me as your heart desires.
How about none?
None, yeah, none feels right.
Trade in any iPhone in any condition and get iPhone 15 Pro and iPad and Apple Watch SE all on us. Only on Verizon.
you wings.
I'm standing right now with Coach Alex. Alex, I gotta say, I was sweating, and I pretty much feel like the rest of Pacific was too. At what point do you feel like the tide was turning in your favor at that map?
I think it was incredibly back and forth, honestly. I think if I had to say one moment, it would be when Moniet won his 1v1 with Sheriff against Patitek. I think did wonders for his confidence, you know, in ours as well. So that's probably the most crucial point of the game.
Well, I think Pacific's awake now, so let's see if you guys can close it out.
Mika was worried about Pacific. I guarantee you Achilleo somewhere is losing all his hair right now with the way things are turning out. What a game that was. And honestly, I'm just going to flat out say it. PaperX just pulled that out of their ass.
Yeah, I mean, they absolutely did. Lovers of good, honest Valorant screaming and crying at present moment. Because honestly, Team Heretic should have won this map, but they lost a few critical egos. They couldn't come through on their pistols, and PaperX pull off the most PaperXy win possible, relying so much on individual plays, on magic, but they make it happen.
Well, this is it. They've always been able to, but without Jing, who knew if we'd see the same explosive style out of them? Here, though, a back-and-forth battle, as you heard from Alex. It doesn't feel like it was anyone's game right off rip. It was down to the wire, but in the end, I think the better team won from what we saw. I loved Something's use of Gecko. I mean, I think everybody should be playing.
Did you love Something's use of?
Yeah, everybody should be playing Gecko the way Something
No.
does.
He was barely using his disc. He was offing the majority of the rounds. He was barely using his utility. He's just shooting them. It's like he could be playing any agent. They're not even doing the KO Gecko combos most rounds. I'm the lover of honest
He's going to use the op on.
All right.
Jet, Chamber.
Enough of this.
Sage, they have a Sage in their comp.
Cállate, Mimi. Let's go to the Verizon high-speed moment of the match.
Love that.
It's going to be mind-free.
My mind is free.
Yeah. Yes, it is. But listen here, man. The magician pulled one from the hat again here, man. This guy, this guy keeps on impressing. I mean, I've always been a big fan of Mind Freak, so it's good to see him really just continuing to flourish here. But I still cannot believe PaperX pulled off this win. Like, it was looking tragic, Mitch, at certain points in time.
PaperX made the right decision. This is a roster that for the longest time had this rule that they don't make more than one roster change at a time. And I heard, talking behind the scenes a little bit, hopefully not leaking too much, that Mind Freak was always on the chopping block with the one other player. Every time they made a decision, it was do we drop this player or Mind Freak? And every single time, Mind Freak survived. And now he's grown into this player that's recognized as one of the best in the world. And we said it was a close game all the way. Well, he certainly pulled it through in a couple of those rounds, like the high-speed moment. It's infectious.
We got there. You know, everyone's got a frog in their throat apparently today. But for now, though, let's actually hear what Nilzinho had to say as we get ready for map number 2. Mika standing by.
Hey guys, I'm standing right now with Nilzinho from Team Heretics. Nilzinho, give us a preview. What did you tell the boys in order to get their mental back into that game, especially after that map 1, and get them ready for Lotus?
Yeah, so for me, it's been our map. I think the boys are feeling pretty crisp individually. You've seen it from some of the shots we're hitting. The reason we lost that was our fundamentals just went out the window, and you do that again against a team like PaperX, they're going to pick you apart. So it was a very harsh reminder to get our fundamentals back and listen to Boo, because you kind of lost control there because everyone's doing their own thing. They're running around taking aim fights, and our macro just completely, it was abandoned. So that's why we lost the attack, and we're going to change that for Lotus. So.
Well, the crowd's on your side, so let's see if Team Heretics can make a comeback.
I think Neil's on the money there. For most of that map, it seemed like Team Heretics had control. Their retakes in the first half were looking clean. They were playing the structured Valorant that we always expect from them. But
PaperX everywhere that they wanted him to be.
Absolutely. But like Josh was mentioning on the cast, once you give this PaperX team space, or once you give them opportunities, they will push all the way through. They will shut you down. They make it so much harder to go for that set, honest Valorant that Team Heretics have really perfected through this season thus far. And that puts them in a brutal position now, GB, heading into Lotus, a map away from elimination for this team who we were just talking about is one of the best in the tournament with that close loss to Send.
Which is honestly mind-blowing to think about. W Gaming truly living and breathing here in that first map. But the thing is, though, is that you got to put that first map aside, Mitch. Now you got to focus on map 2, Lotus, and we'll see what we end up getting as far as the agents are concerned here. Don't really expect too much shenanigans, but I think ultimately this is really just a Heretics team that now is going to be feeling the heat on that stage.
Absolutely, and we mentioned Mind Freak a lot. His Viper is good, his Omen is even better, and we expect him to be switching over to that here on Lotus, having already fired off on all cylinders. I think he's about to add another one. This could be dangerous for Heretics, because I've seen the side of PaperX snowball before, and I'm starting to feel it this time.
Yeah, and it was a close game that Heretics lost on this map against Sentinels. I think their biggest issues on their defense was that Sentinels was fighting forward into smokes, getting ahead of their retakes and really punishing them. But it has been a stronghold map for this squad for quite a while. Looking at the agent select now. Thankfully, something playing Jet. I don't like a double duelist comp.
I was going to ask you about
PaperX.
I was going to ask you about the double duelist. What do you make of that, Mitch?
I certainly prefer the Jet over Arena, which is what he's been running before. Although, considering that it is something, again, he's one of those players that could make the argument for it. But I think this composition, it can allow them to go back to that dive that they're so goddamn good at. The pressure is going to be applied to Heretics from the second those barriers go up.
You're sacrificing the Viper, so on your attacking side, you tend to be a lot more telegraphed on these hits, and you're sacrificing that second initiator, which means re-clearing is hard. Heretics, a chance to stay alive here in map number 2.
All I know is this joint's going to be insane, and I just want to jump back into it. Let's see if we get a map 3. Brent Sideshow, you take it away from me.
Exciting one here for Lotus, isn't it? My goodness, a lot on the line in this elimination game. Heretics, but their backs against the wall. Listen, the crowd might be behind them, but listen, all the sport in the world sometimes can withstand against the W key, which PaperX they know perfectly well at the back of their hands.
So when we saw Heretics play against Sentinels, Neil talked to them after map 1, map 2, they came out destroyed. have Heretics tightened up those fundamental plays?
That's what they felt like was missing here. One-way smoke boot. Just tucks himself behind. Got plenty of backup right behind him now, but PaperX, I don't like the
They do
sight
not
of
like it. As soon as that one-way was put down, they're like, nah, we are not going round. A very greedy turret there, being placed by Benji, letting them know if anybody's over towards A at all.
They don't care about a util either, disrespecting it. Alarm bot triggered. I mean, listen, not even worried about the protocols for clearing through tree. They're only just doing it now.
Yeah, and I'm a little bit. Oh, here we go. They're going for an aggressive post plan as well.
Trip broken immediately, one way up through. So Nate to set this up as soon as the first wave is going to be sent flying from Heretics.
Heretics played every single defense round on Sunset as a retake.
All going stairs.
And doing the same again here.
They're all going stairs. I don't think PaperX are ready for this one at all. Look at this. They have to try and fight them forwards. The dash by something. Damage done. Look at that. No kills collected. It's all being filled up in the feed. A full of green. And greedy maybe perhaps is what you would describe it for PaperX. Trying to play that one. Just misreading the kind of timing they could take.
That is a great retake setup, though, from Heretics. Most of the top teams that we see play do put the pressure over towards Heaven. You think back to how Sentinels play the post-plan setups as well. Same one-way, a duelist in position up towards there, somebody playing pit. Usually there's going to be a pretty heavy denial in that area. And Rians just wanders in. Yeah. I mean, he has such a free passageway to the site based on the utility that they throw from tree. And yeah, Alex, head in hands there at the gap that's developed. And remember, last time we saw PaperX invest into this kind of round. They went for some kind of force after losing the follow-up, but deciding not to go for a force buy here.
Whoa, chances there.
Yeah, very risky timing to go for, actually. You got to be worried on timings like that.
All up, all down. Marshall in the hands of something. Point pistol round though for Heretics 2 of 1. Didn't end up winning any of them in that prior map. It's part of the reason why PaperX were able to take it. You know, they were losing in some of the other metrics.
Cover going out.
Okay, hell of a kill.
Yeah, that's just a peek from Paddytech, punished.
Trailblazer spotted that, so Benji, he's noted. He is going to be playing onto that corner, 62 health. Won't go down to a single shot of the Sheriff, but the Marshal might do it. Has to back away from this, surely. Still, tucks himself, but now backing away, respecting with a flash in his face. Out over the top, crouching and praying. You don't get your head taken off.